in my eyes, swinging them hips when you pass. I'm visualizing my name tattooed on that ass, baby. Jump on it Harley, let's go smoke some of that Bob Marley. Sip some Bacardi, then go pull up at the after party. I think we make a perfect couple, but you think I'm trouble. Maybe that's the reason you gave me the wrong number. She got me feeling like maybe she the wrong woman. Think I'ma be chasing the chicken head, you own something. Your toes painted, hair fixed all the time, and your Gucci boots the same color as mine. If you read between the lines, you can see that I want you. I bet you how you doing what you said that you won't do. Make a decision sure that good things don't last long. Your girlfriend keeps showing me that thong. Before I head home, I'ma stop at your house and go to home. If you come outside, you know it's on. Holla at your boy. I really understand you, baby. I'm see your loving. I really was driving you crazy. I wanna be your lover. I really understand you, baby. I'm see your loving.
Day one S, Wagwan Day one, 313 in a place to be.
Frustrated with the baller, wonder why I don't call her. Maybe because I'm busy and she needs someone to spoil her. It gets annoying from time to time, I gotta ignore in order to let her know that we friends and nothing more. She loves it when I'm in town, hate it when I'm not around. I get her and wear it down, next door neighbors hear the sound. Pictures hitting the ground, just enough to hold us down. And moving, cruising after the third round. Just lay back, baby, and let me drive you crazy. I can make a 40-year-old feel like a young lady. I admit I fell in love with a frame, and to make her feel special, I let her call me by my government name. My panties wet over fame, fell in love with my chain. I wonder if I wasn't an entertainer, would she remain? Surrounding me, hounding me, trying to be my own lady. I'm not your boyfriend, I'm your homemade. I'm gonna be your lover. I really understand you.
Chuck in the building, what's going on, Chuck?
Don't know what fucked me up more, watching the lick. Or watching her walk, she hypnotized me with her hips, man. I sweet talk her if she like, cause all she really want is a nigga to treat her right. Look, I'm legit now, I used to break laws. Now you can reap the benefits of world tours. Big house, big Benz, girl, it's yours. Mink coats, Italian shoes, stones with no flaws. You ain't got to look like a model for me to adore you. All you gotta do is love me and be loyal. Don't indulge in my past, fuck what happened before you. Cause of me, some honeys gon' hate you, they never saw you. Come here, let me touch on you, I'll let you touch on me. Put my tongue on you, you put your tongue on me. Let me ride on you and you can ride on. We can do it all night, we can have a ball at night.
Yo, S, I ain't even looked at that yet. That's something we can possibly get into. Definitely.
You gotta want it. Yeah. You gotta strive for that. Stay focused. Yeah. Until you looking at these nice views. Carrots in my fresh juice. Jumped in the 63. Hopped on the 101. Exit on Stinson Beach. Pretty girl next to me. Early morning heat the seats. Stop for some green tea. Hey, hey. You know I fuck with you the long way. Living life fast, it's that game we play. On my way to Sausalito, stop for some calamari. On my way to Sausalito, stop for some. On my way to Sausalito, stop for some calamari. On my way to Sausalito, on my way to Sausalito. Now I think it's about 3. Heading back to the crib, exit on Marina, make a left. Shit, we almost hit. Baby so sexy, got me really about to lock it in. House in the hills, matching whips and designer fits. Now we back to the crib. She wanna Netflix and chill. Looking at her pretty face, make me wanna put my phone on airplane mode. Then I'm clocking in it deep. She never met another nigga like this. What's happening? You know I fuck with you the long way. Living life fast, it's the game we play. Stay focused, you gotta want it. I'm striving. Stay focused, you gotta strive for that. I'm striving.
That shit was funny. 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 Yeah. Tell me what's fun. Watching me try anything just for you to hold on. Got me caught up in your string. Come you loose when you're done. Girl, I said 1,000 things. Go ahead and say one. That shit was funny. That shit was funny. Tell me what the price been. All I had was time for US currency. You didn't like that. If you're gonna hold it out for me, then guess what? I'll fucking bite that. You can go ahead and explain why he's saying what he's saying. Go ahead. Get the fuck up right now. Get the fuck up right now. Get the fuck Get the fuck out my house. Yeah. Get the fuck up right now. No one like you anyway much. Get the fuck up right now. Get the fuck out my house. Yeah. Get the fuck up right now. I'ma say some shit just to make you hurt. I learned that from you. All those little insecurities that you got, all of them true. Oh, you think that they friends? You should hear them talk about you. There ain't no fucking depends. There ain't no fucking excuse. There ain't no fucking my lens. There ain't no walking my shoes. Yeah, how can you say that he's lying whenever staring at proof? How the fuck can you be crying? Thought I was nothing to lose. How can you say that you're dying? You put yourself in the news. Looking back, it was fun. Watching me try anything just for you to hold on. Had me caught up in string, coming loose and I'm gone. You could say 1,000 things, I'ma just say one. That shit was funny. I don't know what the price been. All you got is time for me, there's currency, I don't like that. And I made like a lot of money out of shit, yeah, you know I like that. You can go ahead and explain what he's saying, stop, let me write that. Get the fuck up right now. Get the fuck up right now. Get the fuck Get the fuck out my house, yeah. Get the fuck up right now. No one really liked you anyway much. Get the fuck up right now. Get the fuck out my house, yeah. Get the fuck up right now.
Yo, good evening, good afternoon, year he, all of that good stuff. Mic check. Yeah, it's not too bad. Not too bad. I heard the replay back. Not too bad. Day one gave me that one. Ha. Day one gave me the one. Wicked. Nice. Ruled by Saturn. What's going on, bro? How we doing, man? How we doing? Yeah, happy Monday, folks. Happy Monday. Happy Monday. What's new? What's new in the hood, man? What is new? What is new, the folks? How we doing? Yeti in the building. Salute. 313, salute. Chill. Much love. Ruled by Saturn. Much love. Day one S. Much love. My man Gareth. Much love. Much love. Wicked. Wicked. It's going man. What's that? It's going mental in the UK. It's looking people up for spicy social. Okay. What kind of spice we talking? Social. Oh man. Ah. Misogyny is comparable to terrorism. They're comparing that to terrorism? Since when? Since when? What is going on? That's how. Hey, I'm so disconnected. I'm so disconnected to what's happening. I don't know whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, to be honest. I'm so disconnected. Yeah, that's wild. I'm disconnected, man. Most of these events that's been happening in the UK, I've only caught wind of it like what, 2 weeks, 3 weeks after it's happening. That's nuts. I'm so disconnected. You said it happened today. Okay. Yvette Cooper. Who's Yvette Cooper? See, I don't even know these characters. I don't even know these players, man. I don't even know them. You could be like, yeah, Yvette Cooper and Sasha Baron and Divine Spark and Rule by Saturn. I'll be like, who are these people? I don't know them. Like, I don't watch the news. I don't watch it. I couldn't even tell you who's who. Couldn't even tell you. If they ain't talking about the eyes, the moon, the lens, the crystal. It's not gonna catch my attention. Hollow Earth. It's not gonna catch my attention. Not gonna catch my attention. Wild. Like I said, I don't know whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, but I'm so disconnected. Rule by Saturn knows what I'm talking about. I'd be like, who? Rule by Saturn? Huh? 313? Who's that? I'm lost. I'm in Adnod right now. Can someone help me get out of Adnod? Can you remember where it all started? It started in Adnod, right? It started with... Who can remember who it started with? Let me see if anyone was paying attention. See if you know where it all started. Then I'm better off. Yeah, I feel so. I feel so. Anyway, you know it started with Kanye West, right? It started with Kanye, James. It started with the whole gang. That gang. Maximus in the building. That's my extended Croatian family. We got my Croatian people in the building. We got my folks from the USA in the building. Good people. Ain't no warring over here. We unite, right? Got my UK British folks. I got my folks from America. I got my folks from Croatia. Where else you from? I got my Nigerian folks. I got my Niger folks. Brother Yeti or I had a banana today and I just Yo, it's your cold. That is a cold one. That is a cold one. No way. No way. Tested positive for monkeypox. That's cold. That's cold. I'm running with that. I'm running with that. I'm running with that. Yeah. Tell him, Yeti. We're all over. We're everywhere. We've got my Jamaicans, we've got my Nigers, we've got my Croatians, we've got my Americans, we've got my New Zealanders. You all come together for London. I like that. That's good, man. That's good. 420 if you got that shit. Divine says she had a banana. I mean, she must have the monkeypox. For those of you who had the banana today, you're gonna have to sit in the back. If you had a banana, you're gonna have to sit in the back while we continue our show. I mean, you can still be a part of it, but just you gotta sit at the back just for safety measures. Just for safety measures. Shawnee boy in the building. What's happening, Shawnee boy? Shawnee boy, Mr. Osborne, Mr. Random Fan. I know you're a happy lad, Shawnee boy. Shawnee boy is a happy lad right now. You got Z back now, eh? Welcome back, Z. I see Z touchdown. Z's back on planet Earth with us. I see Z ripping up the floor, ripping up the panel verse the other day with what's his name? I forgot his name. Jaren, there you go. With Jaren. See, he was putting in some work over there, boy. Good stuff, Z. Good stuff. I told you. What did I say before, right? When it comes to the flat Earth, there's a few people that's gonna be, staunch with it. When we was watching that Dave Weiss and Professor Dave, right? I said if that was Z up there, he wouldn't be talking to Z like that, right? Z would be doing all types of maneuvers. I know some of those heavy hitters took heed of what happened over there. They was like, oh, who's this Z guy? Who's this Z guy? Very exotic Z. Who's this Z guy? Oh, look, he's carving a new asshole in Jerem. Oh, brilliant. Yeah. Jaren Neal Z1. Is that how it goes? Jaren Neal Z1. That's what it looked like from here. That's what it looked like from here. I need a vacay. I need a vacay. I need a vacay. I don't know. It's either Spain, Jamaica, or Croatia. Spain, Jamaica, or Croatia. I have to see. I'll have to see. I deserve a holiday. I really do. I've been a good guy. I've been a good guy, putting in so much work. You know. What's S saying? I've been posting pictures of Jimmy Savile. Oh, Jimmy Savile? I ain't heard that name in a long time. Isn't he in some part of Tartarus right now? Isn't he in the grave? Come and find me in my motorhome. Yes, yes. My day one S. He got his priorities straight. He packed up shop and said, I'm hitting the road. I'm hitting the road. Come and find me if you can. Come and get me. Salutes to S. Salute to S. Yeah, man. So yeah, it's been a very peaceful weekend for your boy. I had a nice weekend, nice and calm. That was a nice stream that I had over there with Machine and a few other people. I think 23 joined us as well over on the main stage. That was good. That was lots of dots getting connected again. I hope you folks was taking heed to what was being presented to you. You're not going to get that anywhere else. Right? New stuff, completely new stuff. More pieces to the puzzle, right? More pieces to the puzzle. Still got a lot more work to do. Yeah. All of these events that's happening, or that's been happening rather, I feel like some of them are rituals, you know. These events that they do, they're just like rituals, right? I showed you guys the Sputnik and removing the globe from the truncated cone, right? That's just Sputnik all over. Alright, they're showing you the Sputnik. Hope you guys are paying attention. It's different. It's different. What else did we cover? We covered the Rotary Club as well. We still got more to cover on that. Right? We touched on a bit of the Rotary Club, the London Eye. Right? The London Eye and the Rotary Club. I found something else while I was looking at that Rotary image. Right? It's crazy. It's crazy. What else did we tie in? The serious connections, that was good. I hope you lot were seeing that, right? With the serious connections, the Dogon, right? The genesis of Dogon. Lots of stuff, man. Lots of stuff. But yeah, it all, like I said, it started with Kanye, right? This shit started with Kanye and Mr. James Terrell. Excuse me, who you see on the screen right now, right? Me, James Terrell. That's who it started with. And Kanye. Big Drank in the building. What's happening, Big Drank? Big Drank in the building, folks. My man, Big Drank. Speaking of Big Drank, I need a drink. Give me a second. Back. I needed that drink. Salute to Big Drank in the building. So anybody got any new work for your boy? no new connections regarding the stuff that we've been going over. I hope so. I really do. I was watching a bit of Mr. J Dreamers as well again. That guy's got so much information. Got some good information over there. I've heard people say some things about, where he's got his information from and he's a bit shady and this and that, but he's giving information, not even charging for it, just putting information out there. Good information. Right? Seems to be a cool character from what I can see. But he's putting a lot of good information out there. So I hope you lot are paying him a lot of homage as well. He's got a lot of good information regarding the realm and the events that, might be taking place, could be taking place. So salutes to Mr. J Dreamers over there. Apparently he had a falling out with, what's his name? The Jason from the RKX guy. I ain't got a problem with him either. I think they both got good information. Hopefully they can squash their differences and get together again, put out that good content. Because together, I remember, most powerful. Right? They both got good content. That's why I throw little segments from Jay, because he's got some good information. Same with Jason. They both got good information. End of story. CC in the building. How you doing, CC? Much love. Much love, CC. She said 420 break. 420 break. Yeah, man, big up. I hope Small Town Girl's okay. I ain't seen her in a while. I hope Pamela's okay. Ain't seen her in a long time. I hope TT's doing well. I ain't seen him in a little while. Yeah, man. I see that spreading love in the building. Yeah, man. That's what's up. There you go. There you go. Jeez. Maximus said only London I trust 100. Jeez. Righteous. I love it. Thank you, my friend. Thank you, my brother. Real ones, man. I love it. That's what we're here for, man. Like I said, some of you guys don't even get to see each other because you're not all in the same place. Until London goes live, then you get to see each other, right? So like Mr. Baxter in the building. You need to get over here more. Yeah, yo. It's no rush. I suppose you get here when you can. Get here when you can, man. But we all here, man. There's good folks in this building. No trolls. Just good folks, I see Hank in the building. Is that my Sweden Hank? Is that my Sweden Hank? There you go. See? Sweden, Croatia, the USA, the Netherlands, Belgium, Jamaica, Nigeria. We get it all. Right? JP in the building. Look at that. Hold on. Let me Give my man his wrench down there. JP's been rocking with me for a long time. That's family down there, man. Yeah, man. Some good folks in the building. Hey, the other night, right, there was a yellow moon over here. I had a yellow moon. I couldn't believe it. Yellow, glowing. Should have seen it. Beautiful. Ah, there we go. There you go. See? High life. Nigerian in the building. Told you Croatia, Nigerians, Jamaicans, the Americans. High life. I hear me, Sister Yemi in the building. Niceness. Good stuff. What's he saying? Isn't it meant to be a super blue moon tonight? Hold on, wait, a super blue moon. Let me go look outside. Give me 2 seconds. Nah, couldn't see nothing. No moon yet. It was raining about half an hour ago. I don't know. No rain just yet. Okay. Red moon last night in Sheffield. Okay, see? It went from a yellow to a red. Imagine that. From a yellow to a red. Yeah, something's up with the moon. Why do you think that is though? Maybe they're slipping lens colors and then lens filters or something. What's going on? Where's all my flat earthers? Where's all my globers? Where's all my hollow earthers? Oh, excuse me. Where's my rising earthers? Sorry, I forgot. There's another model apparently. Rising earth. Anyone familiar with that? I heard of it, but I don't know how the model works. So if anybody knows how it works, let me know. So there's a few new models out there. Maybe they all play a role to what's going on. Who knows? Yeah, I had to look outside. I couldn't see nothing. It was raining out there. That's why he's here. Yeah. It's all suspicious, right? Yeah. Yeah, man, we're in the building, man. Yeah, salute to everybody out there, wherever you're from. Wherever you're from. Yeah. Raining. Good old England, eh? Good old England. Good old England. As much as it's got a bad name over here, I give thanks that I'm here. I could be anywhere else, with no quote unquote running water or electric, no curtains on my window. I could be in a worse place, so I give thanks. Not the best place to be in the world, but I give thanks. I'm grateful. Okay, yeah, okay. Overwatched work of God Give Lemster. Okay. I'll say what he thinks on Microcosmos. Oh, Outlist. Oh, you watch Outlist, yeah? Alright. Yeah, I feel you. I mean, I'm surprised that none of those heavy hitters, right, has even promoted God Give Lemster's work. I find that quite fascinating. I only heard one person speak about it. The first person I heard speak about God Give Lemster's work was John Levy or John Levi, however it's pronounced, John Levy or John Levi. That's the first person where I discovered God Give Lemster. After that, ain't heard no one mention his name. No one mentioned his name. Do you know how I know when you're making noise, right? It's when you get Simon Dan on your case, right? That's another place where I see God Give Lemster on Simon Dan. I was quite surprised. You know, Simon Dan, he like to rip down everyone's model if it isn't the globe. I wonder whether he'll rip my hypothesis down with Hollow Earth. I wonder if they'll get around to him, you know, living on an eye or in an eye. But yeah, like I was saying, it was John Levy or John Levi that brought my attention about, you know, the moon theory. So salute to John. But I haven't heard anybody else speak about him. Right, he's the only one who really speaks about the moon. If it ain't me or Harry, I think from the Lost Files? I think it was. Yeah, no one else. They speak about flat Earth, but they don't really include the moon as well. You know, everyone's sun, everyone's model, everyone's got a model but no sun. But you can't figure out how the sun works other than goes around and comes back around and goes around and comes back around. But is that really the sun? Or is that just a piece of the sun? You know. But yeah, that's the reason how I heard of God Give Lemster. Other than that, no one talks about him. His work is so on point, in my opinion. You know, just by seeing a few of his videos, I already knew what was going on. When I even heard Living on the Moon, I was like, what? Nah, that's different. That's different. Biggest trick in history. Can you imagine the biggest trick in history is to convince you actually living on Earth or you're actually living on the moon? Possibly. Alright? Possibly. That is, to me, I'd have to stand up and give them a standing ovation for that, because you would never have thought it. That is wild. I think it's possible. I think it's possible. Kanye West thinks it's possible. With Adnod, Donda, Adnod. Remember, it started from Kanye. Let me see what Kanye was saying. Give me a sec. Let's have a look, see what Kanye was saying back when he was saying something to me, because I wasn't really paying attention to Kanye until we came across some cold pieces. 2 months since God Give himself released a video. Yeah, he releases little bits and bobs. I think he's gone to a different platform now. He's no longer on YouTube how he used to be. That's a shame. That is a shame. That is a shame. Right? They've been removing my content also. Right? I think we got a how would you call it? A mouse. Got a mouse in the building, if you know what I mean. Right? I think there's a mouse. There's a mouse in the building somewhere. So be careful, folks. There's a mouse in the building. But yeah, let's see what Kanye was saying when he was talking this Jesus is King shit, right? Because I wasn't paying attention to him. I hope they don't copyright me. How does it go? Fair use, and all of that good stuff. Fair use, fair use.
Thanks for bringing us here, man. This place is spectacular. I was saying before, this is the kind of place that you fly over and you wonder what's going on down there, because it's just you don't feel like there's anything within 1,000 miles, and we find ourselves in this isolated place. How did you find Wyoming? Why Wyoming? Why here?
We recorded the last album in Jackson Hole, and I just been looking to get a place, but I've been looking to get a place here, and I was looking for a multi-thousand acre property, and Jackson Hole didn't have any properties available over 500 acres, because I was looking for a place to set up the Yeezy campus. So we found out about Cody and we came here. And when I first got to the ranch, I was expecting something really green because that's what I was used to. So I didn't like it when I first got here. And
Too barren?
Yes. But by the time it was time to leave, I loved it. And I was like, wow, these are actually the Yeezy tones right here.
It's true.
It's
true.
It actually is the palette. Now that I'm thinking about that, that makes me kind of want to put the other jacket back on. I'm like, wow, I want to wear.
The fleece is good. You look good.
Yeah. And the fleece just feels like,
It's in the Jesus is King palette.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense also.
You talked about Yeezy.
And people wear fleece 10, 20 years now. It's more of a future.
Well, I wanted to ask you about
idea.
20 years from now. You talked about Yeezy Camp. What is this place in 20 years?
I have some visions, but the more that I'm in service to God, I just...
Kanye's visions, he's got some wild visions, right? But I don't know whether it's his visions or someone else that's, telling him to say these things. But he's got a wild imagination, Kanye. I want to know what he really thinks. I hope he, spills the beans a bit on this. First time I'm seeing this with you guys, so bear with me.
Clear my head and just wake up more empty every day, and let God do the driving and just use me as he may. So you make plans and God laughs. So if I told you the plans, I could tell you what would happen 6 months from now, not 20 years from now. So we're building farms here because of the climate and because of the soil. We're gonna have hydroponic cotton, wheat, hemp, and we're developing our own fabric. So we're gonna go from seed to sow, from farm to table, so we can see the entire process.
Full sustainability.
Yes.
Which is a concern. for all of us, but is present on your mind, the idea of a sustainable future?
We got to sustain, right?
We do.
Yeah. And for me, I know it's an interview and we're doing talking, but the reason why I didn't want to say 20 years from now, but say 6 months from now is really not about talking. It's about doing. So we are doing. We are in the process right now. I can tell you what I'm doing. Anything else is just
got it.
Talk.
You know, I think the original plan was for you to use your interest in architecture and to build something that gave to the community and expanded into the community from Calabasas.
Oh yeah, JP, I forgot about that. The MK stuff as well. That was heavy on the cards. People was, assuming he was under some type of MK stuff. I completely forgot about that stuff. Yeah, because he did go away, then come back, and he put on so much weight. I think they was even saying it might be a double. It's a different Kanye, right? That's what they were saying. It's a different Kanye, if I'm correct. Yeah, but you know what as well? Do you remember that image or that footage that he had maybe in one of his videos when he had apparently it was dummies of celebrities laying down in one bed? Remember that image? Anyone remember that footage? When Kanye done that video of all those celebrities laying down in one bed, but apparently they wasn't real, like a mannequin or something, or a dummy. But they look pretty lifelike. I think they was even like, breathing or something. You could see a bit of water, like it might have been sweat. I don't know. What were they trying to show in that video? If anyone can find that, let me know, please.
And that didn't manifest itself for one reason or another. Permits, was that the reason why it couldn't happen out in California?
Well, it did manifest that I was able to see it get done. But, I was in California building my domes and they said
Building my domes. Is that what he just said? I was in California building my domes. Let me take that back a little bit.
Was that the reason why it couldn't happen out in California?
Well, it did manifest that I was able to see it get done. But, I was in California building my domes and
My
they said,
domes. Building his domes. NASA was saying the same thing. They want to build some domes, but on the moon, apparently. What are you trying to tell me, Mr. Yeezy? Okay. Let's keep going.
my dome was 10 feet too high.
10 feet.
Right,
And they tore it down.
that kind of semantic.
You see how he pointed to his head? You see how he pointed to his head? He said the dome. He pointed to his head was too high. Okay, Mr. Firmament. All right.
But think about what they're saying. Kanye, your dome is too high. We got to tear it down. So
what's he say? He said, think about what they're trying to say. Kanye, your dome is too high. We got to tear it down. MK Ultra much? Dome firmament much? What's going on? So many ways we can go with that one there, boy. All right, Mr. Weezy, let's keep going.
They came to me and said, you have to tear it down. But before I even had the opportunity, now mind you, this is on my own 300-acre property. Before I had the opportunity, they already went to press with it to be like, and by the way, we're going to show everyone and tell everyone that we're tearing down your domes.
So what did that say to you at the time, beyond the actual,
actually
the 10 feet? What does the 10 feet say to you more than anything?
Was the 10 extra seconds that it takes to get a like back when you put something on Instagram, that extra waiting time. Slow yesing people and slowing people down is one of the most popular forms of control.
Uh-oh.
How many times have you had an idea and you just get put in traffic through the bureaucracy? So I don't deal with the traffic at all.
Right.
Any situation where I just be sitting waiting. I'm like, because it's power versus force. I'm not going to force anything. I do what I have the power to do. And if I have to force it, then it's probably not a situation I need to be in.
When I come here and I see the kind of world you're living in here and the kind of environment that you will create 6 months and beyond, I just wonder what, and the transformation you're going through as a human being, what a city like LA feels like when you go back.
It feels a bit cramped for my mind. When you drove here, you didn't see a lot of extra noise. It was the road.
There was nothing.
And then just God.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, when you see all of the billboards,
The road and just God.
The traffic billboards. When
Yeah.
I say traffic, I'm talking about the billboards are actually sex trafficking. Because
What?
if a guy is arguing with his girl or something and went through something with his wife, and on one side of the street, there's a billboard for spirits, just alcohol. And on the other side, it's call this number, or it's a picture of a woman on a billboard says, come to this strip club.
Yeah.
And he goes and he spends some money just to sit down and have someone to talk to him. At the end of the night, when they close up the club, they say, how much traffic did we have?
Ooh.
So there's all different layers to trafficking.
Wowzers. You dropping some gems again. I don't know what you're thinking about him, but yeah, there is different layers to it.
Like for me, Playboy was my gateway into full-on pornography addiction. My dad had a Playboy left out at age 5. And it's affected almost every choice I made for the rest of my life from age 5 to now having to kick the habit. And it just presents itself in the open, like it's okay. And I stand up and say, you know, it's not okay.
Yeah, you must be incredibly aware now that you've got to a point where you're actively turning your back on the coping mechanisms that you've been using throughout your life, right? In order to function from that moment in time through to...
School Sniper in the building. How you doing, my man? Much love.
When did you first start to acknowledge the idea of being born again and absorbing your faith whole, like completely, not just as a Christian walking through society, but actually like in servitude? When was that approximately?
It was like approximately April.
Okay.
It was after Coachella.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
God was using me and it lined up amazing. Like literally the Sunday was Easter Sunday.
Yeah.
But I remember when the hair dye, you know, was placed on my head that morning before Coachella and it hit my head and it felt cold. And I didn't like it. I had an aversion to it. And then when the guy was dyeing it, I didn't even like how it came out. It had like too much white in it and the tone, it was like purple and white. And I was like, I don't like this. But I had already planned to have like this purple, you know, outfit and this purple hair dye. And, you know, I wouldn't have the time to sit and do anything, you know, like that now, because I'm, you know, using my mind to build what we're building with farming, what we're building. We're bringing manufacturing back to the States within the next 2 years. Yeezys, you know, we're going to bring them back to the States. We're creating factories where we have injection molded shoes. We're going to be hiring people through the prison reform. I don't like to say the word system, but second chance.
You don't like to say the word system. That's news to me. I didn't know that. Kanye don't like to use the word system. Interesting. Let's keep going.
It's people. And just, you know, people gave up on manufacturing. I'm talking about the purple hair for a second.
Go.
But then I want to jump into how we had given up on manufacturing and said, let's just like manufacture overseas because it seemed like it was what was easier.
Yeah.
And for me as a founder, it's really important to bring these jobs, you know, back to America.
Why? I mean, more specifically, what affected you, that part of the process of building Yeezy offshore?
Let's start creatively. I had this idea for a new boot that we did. And actually the design that we did is very similar to something that we now just saw in a Balenciaga show. So a lot of times me and Dimna, the head designer of Balenciaga, will have similar ideas. Like when we did the 700, they did the triple S at the similar time. So, you know, I built a factory in Canoga, California, so we wouldn't have to go to the factories in China. But 30% of the machines were still in storage and it was never built all the way to not have to go to China. So the team went to China. They're working on this boot. I call it the motorcycle boot right now. And it's stuck in customs. So I still haven't seen it. I said, do we have a picture of it? Or we don't even have a picture of it. Whereas when I have like this gentleman, Caesar, that works in our office, we'll have an idea and he's just pulling the foam together and molding it right there. I mean, by the end of the day, you get a physical idea of what once was a Photoshop. So for us to be able to rapid prototype, we have to rapid prototype. Even the what we're doing with the way spaces are, you know, it's like we've been stuck in a loop and we got to break the loop. And that's one of the reasons why I took the denim jacket off, even though I love the color, and put on this polar fleece, because the idea is more in the future. In the fabrics, we're looking at the fabrics. Are we going to use traditional cotton, or are we using the polar fleece? What impact does the dye have? And we're studying if we can control the color from the seed. And that's when you go seed to sow, because a lot of times you have a separate cotton factory and then they send it out to be cut. Then it gets sent back to the cotton factory. Then it gets sent to dye. And we're even talking about things like screen printing to apply color or dipping it in a different way, because we're just looking like nylon is a 5-story building. So when we're going seed to sow and I'm looking, because I like the nylon, we have nylon in here, I'm saying, oh, wow, we got to have fabrics that don't take 5-story buildings.
I was going to say, you know, before we were talking and started filming, I was talking about how
I want to get your opinion on why it's important to bring manufacturing back to the States.
I mean, I've only been here 4 or 5 years, but I mean, I know that it's important to the country that there are jobs here and that there are things happening within the country, within the space of the country. I mean, you know, from my point of view, I know that there is a huge...
Kanye is slick. He said, I want to hear your opinion. Kanye's up to something, you know. Kanye, I don't know. I can't figure him out. That's the thing. He's putting it on the guy. Like, I want to hear your opinion. Why do you think? Like, I wonder if that was in the script. He put that guy in a tight situation. Because we already know what's going on over there, right? Apparently, Kanye meant to be against the system. He just said he don't even like using that word. But did you see the little dynamic, what he just did there? The power shift. He just said, I want to hear your opinion. That's very telling. For so many reasons. Kanye. Very interesting.
amount of deliberation over manufacturing and conditions and wages and all sorts of things offshore. And, you know, I know from talking to people in fashion, talking to people in all kinds of industries, that there's a desire to control that more, to be more in control of how people are treated and how things are made.
I mean, it's really about control. We have to be in control of our own minds, of our own food.
Oh, gosh. Of our own minds. That's the first thing that he said. in control of our own mind. You can't control another person's mind. The best thing you can control is your own mind. That's the only type of form of control like we have in this world is of your own self. Don't let no one control you. You don't even control your children. They got their own mind. They might obey you for a small period of time and then they're off to doing exactly what you told them not to do. But you can control your own mind. Remember that. Don't ever forget that.
Our health and our families.
Well, that's what I was going to say. When I arrived, I said I didn't know whether this was 3,000 years, whether I'm 3,000 years in the past or 3,000 years in the future being on this ranch because it's so isolated and really you're in the elements. Apart from this cozy environment, we're in the elements right here. This has just been planted in the middle of the space. And it sounds to me like you want to go back to go forward, like you want to go back and use some of these techniques and these ideas in order to
go back to go forward. Yep, exactly. Who was we speaking? Like, who was it? Was it? It might have been TT. Me and TT was speaking on that shit. Me and TT might have been speaking on that shit. I swear to God.
Rome is
dismantle it ultimately.
Yeah, like Rome is the true Silicon Valley of humanity. A lot of the ideas and things that we need are from thousands and thousands of years ago. It's just like, what do we need for our Maslow?
Yeah, it was me and T. I'm pretty sure it was me and TT talking about to go forward. You have to go back at the same stuff we've been doing, or I've been doing with my information and research. I've been going back to go forward. It's wild.
Maslow's hierarchy of need chart. What are our personal needs as a human being? And what we need the most is each other. That's why we gather together, just like the antelopes that are running out there. We gather together. And what is the best form of each other? Family, to keep our families close. But cities have been designed to create more problems that can create more industries. So it's designed that your job is 45 minutes away so that you can spend time in traffic so that the cars have more wear and tear and spend more gas and take more gas. But to think of communities where the church is in the center of the community, and then the school, cafeterias, sustainable gardening, and homes. This is the concept that I have. This is what me and Rick Fox went to the Bahamas as we're working on hurricane-proof homes right now. We're thinking of how to look at the amount of wind that's coming through. You know, these houses are going to be way lower that I put on here, So, I mean, this is not a hurricane, obviously.
No, but I mean, it whips through.
Yeah, and when I was creating the domes,
and it's energy too, right? I mean, that's what you were saying before.
Yeah, you can see the wind in the background whipping through, right? Windy out there.
I mean,
God,
the elements give you what you need, is what you're saying.
Yeah, God gives us everything that we need. What I love about being Christian is I've always been an innovator, but it always seemed like all the innovators were working for, I don't know, Ayn Rand, I heard the term, or something like these ideas that there is no God, all this, and it's just working for the valuation of a company, as opposed to working for the rebirth, or it's not a rebirth. I might not find the right word, but working for a renewal of the planet and a humility in humanity to understand that we will not destroy the earth. We could destroy the resources.
We can destroy ourselves.
And we destroy ourselves, and then the earth goes on.
Sure.
The resources, that's what you're talking about. The decaying of the floating sphere. Remember I presented that to you guys? That's why he's touching on the resources. So the earth won't get destroyed, apparently. Okay.
So regardless of what's happening at Wall Street and what's happening at the board, with trade and what's happening, a Pangea type mentality,
Mhm.
a UN
Mhm.
coming together. One thing, no matter what side you're on, you're considered to be a bad guy or a good guy. Everybody wants a similar thing, and that's for the world to be better for their children.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
someone's fighting in a war.
Mhm.
They want the world
Facts.
to be better.
Yeah, touched on that before. Yeah, I said to those elite, well, you know, the powers that shouldn't be. I won't even call them elites because nothing elite about them. But you know, the powers that shouldn't be. In their eyes, they see they're doing no wrong. Right? When they're dropping bombs and shooting bullets and you know, trafficking, that's no wrong to them. It's to them, they're ticking the boxes. Their mission's completing. It's that's the way how they know how to, you know, maneuver. War, kill, steal, traffic. We're playing on their turf, in case you didn't know. It's rigged. So mad.
For
Facts.
their children.
Yeah.
And what we're not realizing, being all God's creation, is we have so much more in common than we think. I think there's something planted in us, this idea of, you know, human nature. Even something I was saying, I saw on Silicon Valley where this guy was like, I don't want the world to be fixed if I'm not the one fixing it. Something, but
No, you're right. We put us, you know, we do. We always put ourselves right in the center of trying to solve things. But I often think that as society, we lack direction and the unity needed to do it as one, right?
we don't always have to be the one that does it. You know, this
Yeah.
interview alone
Yeah.
might do it. I could be in there and, you know, have these ideas of civil engineering and using aqueducts and sustainable gardening and farming. But there's people out there that are going to see this and they're going to come to the table and say, you know, I've done.
Yeah, he's speaking fact. You know, he might not be the one to do it, but this little segment that he's doing might spark something in somebody. So yeah, I agree with that.
I've studied this for 10 years. I've studied this for 10 years. I've studied this for 10 years. And it's something where everybody, all the Fortune 500 companies, all the founders have to come to the table and say, this is what we want.
We were here in 2012.
It's a difference between founders
Yeah.
and stockholders.
Yeah.
What would you say the difference is?
Well,
He done it again. He done it again. Oh my gosh. Great heavens. Look, he done it again. He put him in the hot seat. Look at his face. He's like, oh, Kanye, what you doing, man? You know it's not meant to go like this. You know it's not meant to go like this, Kanye. Why you doing me like this, Kanye? Look at that. Crazy.
the founder has the ultimate responsibility for the legacy at hand. The stockholder has the ultimate responsibility for the money and the power and the business of the moment in the moment.
Yeah, so you got to look at like Gary from Restoration Hardware. They try to kick him out of his company.
Yeah,
and it
because his
didn't
legacy
work.
didn't match up with the power, you know, with the money and the.
And they had
need of the
to
company.
bring him back. That's the thing with the founder. Founders are special, bro.
Yeah, that's legacy
living
makers.
founders.
Yeah,
You got to honor those living founders. Those are the great grandfathers of what's being built.
So who are the founders right now that you're speaking to?
All of them in this interview. Give me a call.
4 years ago, we did the same thing, but the difference was, and this is the fun. This is how much you've changed over 4 years.
Kanye say he's speaking with the founders. Okay.
4 years ago, you did the same thing. You turned to the camera and you were like, I need support to build my vision with Yeezy. And I need people to understand my place in fashion, my place outside of just making music, and I want to be taken seriously. And you said, give me a call. Now there's a different mission. And that required you to commit wholesale to your faith, not just as I am a Christian, but wholesale.
You
right?
know who my favorite founder is?
Who?
Jack Dorsey.
Right. Why?
Just incredibly smart, visionary.
Mm-hmm.
He created a bank on his third company. At one company, it failed. His second company's Twitter. Created Square, and now he's got a new arm. I like saying arm, not division. A bank that allows people to buy stock in companies as big as, I'm gonna say his company, I don't know how to say the name, but it's the one that costs 314,000, Warren Buffett's, Berkshire Hathaway. Jack Dorsey's created an app
Who's this person who you're speaking of? Anybody know him? If you know him, let me know. Throw it in the chat. I want to see him.
where someone can buy into that stock at $1. Actually, I'm not saying that is not possible somewhere on the stock market. I'm just saying he created the app that allows everyone
To be investors.
to be invested. I mean, that's just one of the things he did. One of the things that he did is he wanted to invest in me early, and he never tried to sun me. A lot of times I would go out and
Okay.
meet with people in Silicon Valley.
Said he never tried to sun him. All right. Let me hear what you're saying. Okay.
And it was really like the first episode of Silicon Valley where Kid Rock is like, yo, I'm Kid Rock. And the very next conversation is, yo, that's Kid Rock. He's the brokest person here.
Right. So you were marginalized, you were trivialized, you felt trivialized in that experience as an entertainer trying to play tech.
Absolutely. And, you know, now that I'm in service to Christ, my job is to spread the gospel, to let people know what Jesus has done for me. You know, I've spread it a lot of things. There was a time I was letting you know what high fashion had done for me. I was letting you know what the Hennessy had done for me. I was letting you know all these things. But now I'm letting you know what Jesus has done for me. And in that, I'm no longer a slave. I'm a son now, a son of God.
Yes, bro.
I'm free through to Christ. I'm thinking of something I want to say out loud. Christian innovator. When you think about the church, because it has to stand on the word so hard, it loves to be extra traditional to the point of blocking innovation. So when we started Sunday service, we were able to be free where people were in doubt of it and question. Some people still in question now, saying it's not a church. You can't call it a church because you don't have a pastor. All of these things.
Is it a church?
Well, we have a pastor now. So,
but is it a church? Like, I mean, is that kind of the ultimate compliment for you that Sunday service is a church?
well, let's ask North what she thinks. We based our design loosely, not loosely. Okay, we Zara James Terrell. We one-to-one did.
He mentioned James Terrell. What did he say about James Terrell? I heard him say James Terrell. I'm pretty sure I did.
now. So,
but is it a church? Like, I mean, is that kind of the ultimate compliment for you that Sunday service is a church?
well, let's ask North what she thinks. We based our design loosely, not loosely. Okay, we Zara James Terrell.
Yeah, Zara James Terrell. What's he saying? He based these designs of James Terrell. Is that what he's saying? Ah, okay. Kanye and James.
we one-to-one did.
Oh, hold on a second. Let me see who he was talking about. Was it this dude here? Ah, is it this dude? Is that who was it Warren Buffett? Is that who he said? I'm pretty sure it was Warren Buffett. Is that your net worth? Sweet. Okay. Interesting. That's your man right there. Kanye. Okay.
So
It's a good one to use. He's a good one to use.
Yeah. So I have the utmost respect for
He's unreal.
for Ortega also.
Right.
the head of Zara, because I would like to Zara.
Right.
I want to Zara their infrastructure.
Right.
And the way their office environment. So the church that we did, I was, slightly embarrassed to show James that we had copied his circular space.
Yep.
And it didn't even have an Oculus at the top. So
Yep.
we just copied the way he did the benches, and then we did some lights. But the lights would move slow, and sometimes it looked like belly.
So it was a big yurt.
Yeah. So what's
Hold
your?
on.
It's like a big sort of like rounded teepee type environment.
Oh yeah,
It's
yes.
like,
I want to Zara their infrastructure
Right.
and the way their office environment. So
He's talking about James now, how we, use James. I think James's ideas, I suppose, for his church.
the church that we did, I was, slightly embarrassed to show James that we had copied his circular space.
Yep.
And it didn't even have an Oculus at the top. So
Yep.
we just copied the way he did the benches, and then we did some lights. But the lights would move slow, and sometimes it looked like belly.
So it was a big yurt.
Yeah. So what is your?
It's like a big sort of like
I'm clipping that. What's yurt? Stop fucking hiding yurt.
rounded teepee type environment.
Oh yeah,
It's
yes.
like,
So I showed, North a picture of a James Terrell structure that I loved, and she said, "That looks like church."
Mm.
That's what church looks like to North.
Mm.
And North is, she was last night just actually crying about when she couldn't go to church when it would be out of town and she'd be at school. And she's like, church needs to be here every Sunday. So now we'll only move the church mostly on Friday, and only move the choir mostly on Friday and throughout the week, but we'll always have it at home, because church does need to be a place that people know they can go to, and they don't have to hop on a flight and chase it down and find. That's what is a part of what I think makes it a church. Another thing is, when North talks about church, he says, I'm going to bring my friends here and I'm going to dance. Tell me someone that that's in our age group that their most positive memory of their childhood, of one of them equally, was going to church, where people were like, I want to go to church.
And what do you think that is?
Sitting in those pews, the tradition, the four walls. God doesn't exist only in four walls. God is everything and everywhere. So Christian innovation, Christian innovators, that's the net that we're casting for the organization that we have now, looking for
Christian innovator,
Christian
entertainer,
innovators.
rapper, preacher.
Well, no longer entertainer. I'm not here for anyone's entertainment.
Interesting.
Woo!
Interesting.
Interesting. He's not here for it anymore. I feel you. Connie. I feel you. If you're hole in the roof, holes in the roof, remember? Anybody remember that? Holes in the roof. That's what he just was basically telling you. Built it without the Oculus on the top. Holes in the roof.
Interesting. So let me ask you this real quick, because I want to go here for a minute.
Yeah.
North's all in. You're raising your family in this environment now, and they support you and they're believing. Kim as well?
Yes.
Right. So what about, like, say you're making this album, what about those who are talented, who bring something special to the table, who are creative, who inspire you in that regard, but not necessarily worshiping at the altar? How's your relationship with them changed because you're so driven by your faith now?
They're still here. I believe it was King David. Now, I'm not a theologian. I'm a recent convert. So I just wanted to say that before I start quoting or misquoting scripture.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're on a journey.
Yes. So, that was this journey of this album. There was times where I was asking people to fast during the album. I was asking people to, this is going to be radical, what I'm about to say. I know this is, we can look at it, the edit. There's times where I was asking people to not have premarital sex while they were working on the album. I know that's one for the shade room. Be like, what you mean you don't have premarital sex? You better turn that Meg Thee Stallion on right now.
Right.
Wild. He's wild.
Yeah, so but seriously, there's times where I was, there's times where I went to people that were working on other projects and said, could you just work and focus on this?
And not just because you needed their attention, but because it wasn't in keeping with the spirit of what you were making. You felt that it was at odds, what they were working on.
Yeah, I thought it would
tarnish the experience.
Yeah, I thought if we could all focus and fast. I mean, it's known when people pray together, families that pray together, stay together. When people pray together and fast together, the power is increased. So I had some things where theories, recent converts, they go in and, we're a lot of times the most fire and brimstone, the most judgmental.
Yeah.
Because we don't know everything that we did was of and not for God. So we have to
It's
really
a reaction
discern.
to a degree, isn't it? It's a reaction of what you've left behind. So you feel like you must commit 1000% to something in order to leave behind the environment you came from.
And tell other people that are around that they need to be committed 1000%. And that's the thing. But God was patient, and my family was patient for me when they were praying for me. When they saw me at the Pornhub Awards, there's family members, they couldn't tell me not to do it. All they could do was pray and be patient, and it had to happen in God's time. So for me, when I have people around who I would like them to be where I'm at in my journey, there's times where all I could do is pray and be patient, because it's going to only be in God's time.
But you've lived a well-documented life filled with temptation, and it's all throughout your records and all throughout your music, and it's been quoted. And what's your relationship with temptation now? How do you process that? Are you able, once you find God to the degree you have, to just switch that off? Is that possible?
I think when people have been addicted to something, like if you ask somebody that's a drug addict, it's like you say, are you still addicted? Well, yeah, you turn it off, actually. Like with God, I've been able to beat things that had a full control of me. Things that, that Playboy that I found when I was 5 years old was written all over the moment when I was at the MTV Awards with the Timberlands, the Balmain jeans, before people was rocking Balmain jeans, and the Hennessy bottle. It's like that was such a script out of a rock star's life. My mom had passed a year before, and I said, some people drown themselves in drugs, and I drowned myself in my addiction.
Which was what?
Sex.
He said he drowned himself in sex. Some of you that are thinking, man, what a lucky way to drown yourself. Let's keep going.
And that's what drove the ego too. Fed the ego.
I mean, that was part of feeding the ego. Money, clothes, cars, accolades, the advent of social media, the Twitter account, paparazzi photos, going to Paris Fashion Week, all of that.
It's overwhelming. I mean, when you clear your mind to the degree you are now, and you sit out here in Wyoming making music, which is spiritually fulfilling to you and hopefully to millions of other people.
You know what? I was not just addicted to sex. I was also addicted to inspiration. But there's only one,
Aren't they both serving the same purpose to some degree? And I mean this, let me qualify that statement. Okay, addiction, be it sex, drugs, alcohol, is a coping mechanism that is designed to fill a space in you that can't be filled, an insatiable hole, right? Requiring more and more. You said inspiration, maybe I'm meaning more ambition. Isn't that doing the same thing?
Well, they said that, a lot of successful men had a high sex drive.
Right. Who said that?
They.
So many quotes attributed today. I love it. Right.
Yeah.
So, but what I meant by addicted to inspiration, it could be the sex could be an inspiration, but also just a design image, you know, a jacket that I wanted to design, a car image, a house image. I was addicted to these kind of images coming across. Like, it'll be people who say, oh, architecture is my porn. And people can be addicted to architecture. People, I mean, a big addiction is work.
Yeah, very much so.
Workaholics.
Most common.
And what about, you know, men and women that say, hey, you know, I'm working this job so hard to make a better life for my kids. And they look up and they hadn't spent their life with their kids.
When do you live your life with your actual kids? Where do you find that balance?
You say, I'm working to make a better life with my kids, but when are you going to spend your life with your kids?
Yeah.
And really, it's like, did you have to work for that fourth house? You know, did you have to work for the...
Well, did you?
He put him in deep waters. He was just trying to use it as an analogy. He tried, he got you back, Carney, he got you back. He knows exactly what he's doing. He's playing you at your own game, right? He's making you think about the fourth house, the fourth wall. Got you thinking, reminiscing. He's blinking. He's blinking. Yeah. Cold. Thinking. Yo.
I didn't have to.
Oh. Did you see the boy? Did you see the boy? Did you see the boy? He was doing his Z impersonation there. Remember Z liked to stare into the camera. If you was there for Crunchy, you know what I'm talking about, Crunchy B, that was hilarious. Staring into the camera. Just thinking. That was cold. I like it.
There's a balance of family and calling that I specifically have. I have to protect and take care of my family and make sure with the power that God has put in my hands that I do everything that I can as the father to provide the best chance at them being the maximum success that they can be. That was a very specific,
very thoughtful answer.
Yeah, because I didn't say normal life.
No, I didn't say no. That was very deliberate. That was very deliberate.
So,
and I get that. I understand.
And I said as a father because they also have a mother.
That's right.
So it's the balance.
And it's not about the fourth house. It's about the environment that you create. Ultimately, they're learning, right?
Yeah, and also the environment of, because of my position in the world, the environment that I inform for other people. You know, we've informed a successful celebrity marriage, a successful interracial marriage where the husband was the darker.
Kanye's giving some game right now, boy. He's really... I don't know whether he thought about this or it's scripted, but he knows, he seems to know where he's going with it. He seems to know where he's going with it. I like that. Yeah, I like that. Grand old chat room. How we doing down there? Robert Humphrey in the building. Salute. 23 in the building. Wagwan 23. Big up. Noble No in the building. Much love. Much love. For those of you who just got here, you know, we're taking a trip down memory lane where it all started. For those of you who may not be aware, it started with Kanye and James Terrell for me. You know, so we're digging in the Kanye files right now. We are digging into the Kanye files, you know, so strap in. Still got a bit to go. Lay low. 420 if you got that shit. Oh yeah, by the way, it's an open panel. Feel free to hit that link.
Color inside of America. We've informed some things that I wasn't as into now, where, you know, I literally was up there trying to have my daughter outdress Rihanna. It sounds crazy when you say it out loud, but if you really think about it, it's like his daughter was walking around with a slip dress. The culture was my God.
Because and this was documented. This was documented in Keeping Up with the Kardashians in a scene. Really interesting to watch the dynamic of you and Kim, where she ultimately said, "You were complicit in this experience, and now you're asking me to change." And away from the cameras, that's another example of what you're talking about, is it not?
I always had a bit of a version of paparazzi, which has been documented also, and I've also had a aversion to cameras being on at all times. There's a balance of when we have to be closed on Sunday. But the idea I was going to say is I thought I was the God of culture, but really culture was my God. And who invented the culture? The culture is cultivated by who? So if you were to think, what is the culture today? What are some of the major things that it includes? And all of the major points of what might make the culture bowing, taking a knee at a football game, wearing, expensive clothes, rapping about just rap, period, making money from rap, making money from basketball. Before I get to my point, can we name some other things that you say are part of the culture? Buying jewelry. What are some of the other things that we see on the culture? Using social media is a very major part of the culture. To be down with or with the culture, you have to use social media, right? What other things? Okay, now I'm gonna just get to my point right now. None of these things that you need to be involved in order to be down with the culture are owned by Black people. So who designed the culture?
Uh-oh. Got him. Got him. Spot him. Got him. He just laid back like a boss. He just laid back, said, so who designed the culture? I rest my case. That's exactly what he just did. I see what you did there. I see what you did, Mr. Wheezy. I think people don't give you enough credit. I think they don't give you enough credit. I'm gonna have to dig up some more files on you because you're different. I didn't realize how different you was. I knew your art was different. I knew you said some crazy things, but I've never really watched your interviews. So, okay, you got my attention.
A lot of people would argue that you are instrumental in driving the culture and you own your own companies, that you have inspired that change.
Well, before he even gets going, he did create a big change within the culture. I mean, you could almost argue he was at one point the culture. You know, everyone wanted to rap like him, dress like him, buy his stuff, you know, collaborate with him. You know, it's just he was the boy at one stage. He could do no wrong. His music was hitting, everything he was doing and saying. Everyone was gravitating to him, so to speak. So yeah, he was almost like the culture for that generation at that time. A big shift in the culture. I see it. And the game, the industry, everything. He was a force not to be reckoned with. He was something. Okay.
It's inspired now, but did you know that this is where I was going with it when I named all those things?
You didn't name yourself, though. You didn't name yourself. You didn't name yourself.
Didn't name yourself.
And-
See? Wow. See? Ooh. He didn't name himself. He didn't name himself. I, I don't know whether he's being modest. He's meaning to do that. I don't know. I don't know. See, this is what. Ah, man. Bit like myself, to be honest, you know. But yeah, Kanye, I don't know, man. Something about you. I gotta watch you closely.
And yeah, it's a very valid point. I think that's changing. I think that culture is very squarely going into the hands and the influence now of the new founders.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Demon Slayer in the building. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, we're good, we're good. We got no demons in the building. We good over here. It's only good folks in the building. So you can put your knives and your guns and your machines and your traps away, right? You good over here, bro. You good. There's no demons over here. Only good folks. You good. Much love, Demon Slayer.
I mean, when Chance said don't sign anything,
Right.
He came in like Van Helsing, like, hi, folks. Any demons around? Whoa, no, good sir. Put those weapons away. You're good over here, Mr. Demon Slayer, aka Van Helsing. You're good over here. No demons in this bar. No, sir. No demons in this bar. You good. All right.
his tour was canceled like the next week. Spiritual warfare.
Okay, let's talk about that.
You're saying, okay,
No, I get it. I get it.
And God is changing. God is using me.
Mhm.
God is using me to show off, I believe.
Woo.
He like, you know, God is similar to
Talk your shit, cuz. Don't hold back. Talk your shit, huh? Because someone's using me. I feel like someone's using me. But I don't talk my shit that much. See how humble we are? See how we are in the same way? Like, talk your shit, cuz. What do you mean? You got the floor. Go ahead, man.
He's saying he wanted the loudest voice and the one who made the most noise
Ants in the building, big up.
to make the most impact.
Yeah, he wanted to show off. He's like, now let me take this Nebuchadnezzar type character. Nebuchadnezzar was the king. Is it Babylon? Nebuchadnezzar was the king of Babylon. And he looked at his entire kingdom and said, I did this. And God said, oh, for real, you did this? Sounds kind of similar, right? I'm standing on the tip of the mountain talking about Jesus, saying,
That's right.
I did this.
I'm a god.
I'm a god. And I could talk to Jesus at the end of my show. I had a guy dressed up as Jesus at the end of my
He
show.
was standing on a huge mountain on that tour.
And that huge mountain, first of all, I didn't make any money off that tour. I'm lugging a mountain around, and God said, okay, Nebuchadnezzar was diagnosed with bipolar disorder. He was still king. So not only was I diagnosed with mental illness, the mental illness is something that was used to take my dome down by 10 feet, to wash me out, to control me. Let me tell you one of the things.
Nebuchadnezzar was used to take down his dome. That's also a ship in, I think, the Matrix. That's also, I think, the ship in the Matrix, the Nebuchadnezzar. They used the Nebuchadnezzar to take his dome down. That's wild. Mystical in the building, what's happening? Manny in the building, what's happening? AKA the Pathfinder. What a handle name. You already know if you know London, then you know why we're watching this, right? All you newcomers coming in now. I ain't even got to explain why we're watching this. You must understand, right? It's Yeezy. Right? All right.
You're saying that they tore it down because it was based on the fact that they consider what you were doing to be crazy.
No, that's not what I'm saying, but I see that you took it that way. No, I was just comparing my dome and saying this guy that can go up to the telethon, this guy that we can cancel him off of radio and still 20,000 kids come to see him, and he's completely not played by the rules of the system and still the most relevant. We could take him off the time cover. We could do no covers on them on purpose.
Mhm.
On purpose. We could just take away press, no publicists. We could do that. And he still has the #1 searched brand on the planet. Meaning like #1, Yeezy, #2, Off-White,
Mhm.
#3,
Off what?
Adidas, and then the other 3 is like Adidas, Nike, and
Mm.
Louis Vuitton. I don't know which one was which. But the #1 was Yeezy, and all the other ones I'm closely associated with in some way.
Mhm.
Every one of these guys that are founders now have to look me eye to eye. Every founder on the planet. There will
Uh-oh.
be a time where I will be president of the United States, and I will remember. I will forgive, but I will remember any
Mm-mm.
founder that didn't have the capacity to understand culturally what we were doing.
Interesting.
Right, hold on, my man. You see, I see you throwing out that 6 there. I see you. I got you. Bam, right on the spot. But you folks over there in the US, is it possible? Is it possible? Is there a chance Kanye can become president? Because I've heard him say that a few times. Not just in this interview, but I've heard him say it even before this interview, his earlier years, maybe something about being president. What is he talking about? Is it possible that Kanye could once rule America or the world? What is he actually saying when he's talking like this? Let me know.
Interesting tone though. Like I will forgive, but I will remember is kind of like it's sort of like a forgiving, threatening hybrid.
Yeah, he's threatening.
A little bit.
Oh, what I'm supposed to forget?
No, you said you'll forgive, but what does remember mean if you forgive? Isn't forgiveness, if you forgive yourself for the life you lived up until 6, 7 months ago, do you still remember all the things
I
you've
will
done?
always remember every meeting and interaction I've had with Jack Dorsey, and I will always remember my meetings and interactions with Mark Zuckerberg,
Mhm.
and they've been completely different.
Mhm.
With social media, people are brainwashed by it. People are addicted to it. It is the modern day cigarettes.
Mhm.
When cigarettes first came out, and Edward Bernays created the Torches of Freedom March to get women to feel empowered by smoking cigarettes. This is from Century of Self, and it shows that Edward Bernays was Freud's cousin. So, you know, I don't know if I should even talk anymore. It's like you
What
guys.
do you mean? I got so much more to ask you. I got so much. I just flew to Wyoming. I got so much more to ask you. It might be 5 more years before I get to speak
I
to you.
don't know.
You might be president by the time I speak to you next. Do you know how I'm going to be on the pecking order when you're president?
You
write down.
No, we'll do an interview.
We'll do an interview.
I don't do a lot of interviews
I
anyway.
know you don't. It's good to see you again.
I'll probably do more interviews when I'm president.
2024 is still a thing. That's the time frame.
We're working on some things right now. So
yeah.
Well, I tell you this much: he wasn't president. It's 2024 now, but a lot of things have been revealed for London, right? Just want to let you know, Yeezy. Thank you very much. Like you said, people will get gems in some of the things you do, and I've got a lot of gems in the things you do, and James Terrell. So I want to say thank you. All right, but it's 2024, and you're not president, so I just thought let you know. But keep doing what you're doing. Let's keep going.
What I'm saying is, people are addicted to social media. People invest more into a photo on social media than they invest into real life. One of the reasons why I came to this ranch is to get outside. Anyone that's in a corporate environment, black or white, there's bureaucracy at every level. There's rivalries on teams at every level. There's rivalries with coaches, with owners, with stockholders, with founders, and everybody goes home to their families and they want their sons and their daughters to be as successful as them, if not better. We're all people.
Yeah.
So this isn't to point fingers and say, this person is doing good and this person is doing bad. I'm just giving you a flat opinion on what I currently see and what I feel and the pain that I have in my life. I suffer, and I appreciate the suffering because it's just, we can just feel a little bit of what Jesus felt when we suffer. But social media makes me suffer. I suffer from that. And by me saying this out loud, I'm sure that there's other married men that suffer in a similar way that are happy to hear me say, oh yeah, I'm suffering.
Why just married men?
Because social media prompts women in particular to put out content that they wouldn't have put out in the
Right, so you're
past.
referring to your sex addiction.
Yeah, well, it definitely could deal with my addiction. But when I was younger and I wanted to see something like that, I had to, pay someone that was older to go to 7-Eleven and buy it. Now I got friends that have kids that are just out of grammar school and high school that it's completely available. There is no NSFW. I'll load up right now on this computer and I'll load up some things and you'll be like, should that be NSFW or not? Is it just covering just a bit of it? And, there's people, as a God-fearing, married, Christian, innovator, billionaire, founder, no one's going to take my opinion away from me. I've been
As a founder, no one's gonna take his opinion away from him. I can respect that. I can respect that. I can respect that. All Paul in the building. How you doing?
giving my opinion my whole career. I done killed my career how many times? I'm gonna stop giving my opinion now. People, you know how many times people told me my career was over? No one is gonna control my opinion. And one of the things where people have been let off the hook a bit was this whole, oh, he's crazy. Oh, look at him. He's crazy. That got to mute my opinion for 3-4 years.
I remember that. I remember that. He's running around saying he's crazy. He's crazy. I remember that. I mean, you was doing some wild stuff, saying some wild things, but at that time, I mean, at this time now, it don't even seem that wild. It don't even seem crazy in this day and age now. The things that he was saying.
But it's God has the power. Jesus is the force that brought the sanity back. Let me tell you how I brought some sanity back by following God. When you are, yo, boo, can you not be on social media literally as you speak?
See how hard it is?
Okay. But just something else, like just either like focus the energy here or like go somewhere else or something, like, or just do it in another room or something. But I'm not trying to put you on blast. I'm just saying that I'm like that. No, but I go into this transcendent state in these interviews where like, I'm actually reading Larry's mind.
What's Larry thinking?
As you're speaking, I'm actually reading Josh's mind. I'm reading Mr. Boyd's mind. But what happened, exactly case in point, something on the internet took a distracted Boo's mind. That's what we're talking about when people pray together and you're in a room together and you can think things all the way through when that energy builds up. Because artists are like a lake. We reflect what's in front of us. So if you're in front of an audience and the audience is wider, you might say, everybody throw your hands in the air.
Yeah.
That wouldn't be appropriate if you like came in as one person sitting at the breakfast table and you're like, everybody throw your hands in the air. You're like, look, I'm just one person, bro. It's nobody else around here. But what I'm saying is you're a reflection of your room that you're in when you are.
Yeah, you're and absorbing that energy, trying to translate that energy and create something great.
Yeah.
You know, I want to actually, that brings something to mind. When I saw the Pablo tour with the stage and I watched the way that people moved under it, it felt like a worship. And the reaction felt like icon and idol worship. It didn't feel like a normal show. And I wonder, now that you're putting your energy into something, channeling it into something bigger than you, how
He said it wasn't like a normal show. I've heard that about Kanye. Whoa, look at his eyes. His shows are very different. They're not like your normal shows, your hip hop or rap shows. They're very different, I've heard. Kanye's events. He goes all out. I've seen a few of them, right? But I haven't seen the majority. I'm gonna have to dig back in the Kanye files again. And James, right? Wherever James goes, Kanye goes.
how hard that is, looking back on it with some hindsight. Just reflect for a minute how hard it is being on a stage when all that energy is coming at you and you didn't have a place to channel it like Faith.
You exactly. This is the exact point I was making. When you're not serving God, you're serving everyone else. You're serving your ego, you're serving your bank account, you're serving your legacy, you're serving your wife and kids, which is a good thing to serve. You're serving your management or the people that you're managing, you're serving Hollywood, you're serving your reputation, you're serving the responsibility of your race, you're serving so the thing is, you'd say with what I do with music that I am a top chef, be like a 5-star Michelin chef.
Correct.
Of what I do with music, right? So imagine that level of chef having to serve at 10 different restaurants all at the same time.
Right.
And drive different places. Those meals.
Sounds like a road to bankruptcy.
A road to bankruptcy, a road to TMZ quotes, a road to the world just not understanding.
Falling out with your friends?
Yeah, falling out with your friends. And people just not understanding. The main thing is, look, we are living in the dark ages. We're living in an age where people die of hunger. We're living in an age where people are being killed in the street by their own race. We're living in an age where 1 in 3 African Americans are being locked up. We're living in an age where there are children being held at the border, some with their real parents, some not with their real parents. We're living in an age where houses are not sustaining through hurricanes. And there's companies that are worth trillions of dollars around the world with geniuses just working on how to make solely their product better. We're living in an age where someone could be fired for what they think if they say it out loud.
Oh.
That's the age. Wake up. This is too.
Yeah, he's not wrong there. He's not wrong there. He's giving you that game.
2019. This is where we are at right now. This is what Dave Chappelle's whole point was. Stop killing the art. The artists are supposed to express themselves, to be able to have that eternal 3-year-old at all costs. People say, oh, this is going to kill your brand. But my brand is expressing how I feel, whether it's in line with what you thought the brand was. Even 2 days ago, a smart man has the ability to pivot and say, I think something different now.
Yeah.
I don't think this because this was the culture. I don't think North should wear crop tops just because I had her wearing a slip dress when she was 2 years old. I think and feel differently now that I am Christian, now that I'm the founder of a $3 billion organization and married for 5 years. I have 5 years of marriage under my belt.
Cool.
Now tell me who you're going to listen to.
What have you learned from 5 years of marriage? What have you learned from that?
What I learned from 5 years of marriage is it is the greatest bond. It is a God bond to be able to have someone that you can call on, someone you could call out, someone that could call on you and call you out, equally yoked, someone to complain to, and someone to grow with as we grow and raise our children.
That sounds like real commitment. Like, I'm not just saying like 10 years of marriage, but that sounds like a lifelong realization. Those are all key attributes to a lifelong bond.
Absolutely. That's it. I mean, I told my wife, I said, Jesus King is coming. There's going to be a lot of attacks. There's going to be some silly attacks.
Why do you say that? Are you talking about spiritual
spiritual attacks
warfare
and
again?
just spiritual warfare, and then also just societal control attacks. I wasn't afraid to speak my mind when I didn't own my master's. I own my master's. You think I ain't gonna talk my mind right now?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Give me some other examples where someone is saying something that isn't what you're culturally supposed to say. Give me an example of something, of a position where someone is saying something that you're not culturally supposed to say. Whether, I bet there's only one name you can think of. You don't want to say it, do you, Lebron?
Nah, come on. By the way, I'm all right with that.
Say the name.
No, no, for sure. I mean, Donald Trump's on the list. There's no doubt about it. And I'm not a fan, man. And that's
That was funny as fuck. Say the name. Yeah, got him.
an understatement, right? But that's okay. We're different. We have different approaches to how we live our life.
Yeah.
But one thing you said earlier on, which I do totally relate to, which I love, is we're trying to leave the world in a better place for the people that matter to us, our kids.
Okay.
And if you're too young to have kids, you're trying to make the world a better place for yourself. And she may be in a situation where it's expected of her now, but I do think Greta Thunberg at one point was on that list, having a 16-year-old kid from Sweden coming.
Greta Thunberg, don't start with Greta. How dare you? Huh? How dare you? She's influenced a lot of people. Greta Thunberg. Huh? How dare you? London, how dare you? Greta Thunberg, get out of here. How dare you?
Coming out and putting everything on hold and saying what she believed in. And climate change does concern me, and I do think it's a fucking issue. And I think the fact that she came out and did that was huge. And now it's like, oh, that's culturally accepted because she has an army of kids behind her. But at the time, she was one kid. She's the only person who stood out in the street and did that on her own.
She ain't no kid, man. That ain't no kid. She's probably in her mid-20s or something. That ain't no kid. Don't tell me Greta's a kid. No way.
Do you know how many times I've walked down the street when I've felt so frustrated about that and thought, what if I just stop what I'm doing and stand out in the middle of a street in Los Angeles with the placard? Would anyone join me, right? I'm sure I'm not alone in feeling that way. And it feels overwhelming. Like, what change is it really going to make? She just showed us up. She did that on her own. Started with one person.
That was beautiful.
And it's beautiful, but it's also terrifying that we're leaving that world. You know, I see why you're here. I get it. I understand why you're checking out. It was too noisy for you there. It was too noisy. And you responded by making as much noise as you could. And we're lucky. We got amazing art out of it. Amazing art.
Yeah.
If this was a trade, Kanye, we did all right out of it.
You know what? That's so funny. Facts. But that's good, but also I own no.
Code. That's facts right there. He said we did all right out of it.
Nothing. My forefathers have already fought the fight. So it's not a fight when I put the hat on. It's simply my opinion and its next subject.
Fair enough. Fair enough. You know, there is part of you that is liberal.
I'm the most liberal.
You keep talking about the liberals. Like, it's like they're going to come flying down the mountain here in Wyoming, like on horses and stuff. It's like, you know, come on.
Well, they wouldn't come to Wyoming. They'd rather be with no self-service and, you know, in the valley, just driving to like an eighth meeting a day.
All right, I'm a Kanye West fan, and it's a reality. I'm a Kanye West fan. What you played me of
I was to say
Go.
that was shocking for a Kanye West fan, but this shows you that God is hilarious.
Why?
God, you know, there's one gate. There's two gates, or there's three gates, but there's two main gates when you're with houses at the end of the cul-de-sac. One gate goes, and my house is at the end of the cul-de-sac. Who else house do you think is at the end of the other cul-de-sac of the gate? The name of the gate is their house at the end of the cul-de-sac. The name of the gate is my house at the end of the cul-de-sac. What other rapper do you think?
I don't know. Help me out. I'm trying to work out where the
Okay.
cul-de-sac is.
Yeah, okay.
Go.
So God is funny.
Yeah.
Drake
Right.
lives
Oh,
four
literally.
blocks, lives 4 blocks down the street from
Got
me.
it. Got it.
Oh
So
shit.
that shows you that God is like got a sense of humor. The
What?
Oh yeah, because him and Drake was beefing. Imagine that. Him and Drake was going for a little madness, and he's got a house right next to Drake. That's crazy.
liberals,
Because he's the polar
think
opposite
about-
of where you're at.
No, it's just because there was a rivalry. For
Oh,
a little
right,
bit.
right.
Now, liberals love art,
Mhm.
right? And now I am unquestionably, undoubtedly the greatest human artist of all time. It's just not even a question anymore at this point. It's just a fact, right?
Yeah.
So for the greatest artists in human existence to put a red hat on was like God's practical joke
Right.
on all liberals.
Right.
They were like,
Yeah. And that's why it hurt.
not Kanye.
And that's why it hurts so much. It hurts so many.
I forgot about that. He threw on that red hat. I forgot about that MAGA hat, right? I forgot about that little period there. Yes. Didn't he dye his hair blonde and all of that stuff? He was running around like some weirdo. I remember that. That's the time I was thinking, is this man lost his mind? What is going on? Like, it was wild to see Kanye moving like that. Around that time, I remember Make America Great Again. Yeah, I remember that time.
So many. It hurt people a lot, because you are held up as this person who continues to provide us.
But those
With the
liberals never.
No, fans, man, fans.
Yeah, also fans and liberals never stood in front of the prisons to stop there from being 1 and 3 locked up, or the system that's set up where there's actually not enough legal job opportunities for us to avoid from being locked up. Now you got the Clintons, that's privately owned prisons. You get what I'm saying? It's like everyone, no one is God. Everyone bases their opinions on a group of propaganda-esque images fed to us from the very first cartoon or the very first cereal box that we saw in a grocery store. And our environment, friends, schools, religion, country, music that we listen to, all informs our opinion and what side we're on. We've been herded into an idea of blue or red, right, left. But there's actually a time when we were closer to heaven, when we were 6 months before we learned how to speak, before things got so complicated, where we actually had more in common. All of these things that separate us, it's like when you don't spend time talking to somebody for a long time, you start to build up more and more reasons why you shouldn't be talking to them.
There's anxiety in it, and distance creates that anxiety.
The distance has created anxiety. We are the same human beings. We are gods. It's not man versus machine. Man is the machine.
So
we
if
are
you're
God's imperfect creation because we.
Man is the machine in perfect creation. Kanye, boy.
Perish. Go ahead.
So if you're in a situation now where you're able to you want to mend that, you want to bring those things together, starting with the relationships in your life, are you able to do that with the friendships that have deviated? You talk about the rivalry with Drake. You talk about this public fallout with people who you've shared a really valuable part of your life with, Jay-Z, people like that. Are you able to mend that? Is this putting you on a path of recovery in personal relationships as much as it is in your own relationship with yourself?
Absolutely. You cannot be in service to God and be mad at your brother.
Have you started that process?
Next door. Yeah, I go to Drake's house. I walk over there with no security and just leave my phone number. Here's my cell. But I'm not trying to ring the doorbell and say, "Oh, you gotta come out." Sorry, right now he might be busy. He's he got a studio in there. You know, he probably, you know, you're just gonna think that Drake is recording at all times and stuff. Like, man, he probably recording. No, man, he probably recording. So,
But you would like to see that. You'd like to see that.
yo, man,
Yeah.
can I talk? He in the booth.
Always in the booth.
You know, rappers about stay in the booth. I don't leave the booth.
Speaking of the booth,
I put my bedroom in the booth.
Yo, cold. No way. Ah, he's shitting on Drake in this one. He said he stay in the booth. Got my bedroom in the booth. Nah, cold. Someone should have put this out in that Drake disc. That would have got to him, boy. He's cold.
Sleep in the booth.
I sleep in the booth.
Sleep in the booth. I wake up like I have bars for breakfast.
Yeah. So I'll go leave my cell and things like that. You know, it's like, you know, with Jay, you know, I love all of these people, but you got to know there's a lineage of Jay to Ye to Drake. It's, you know, this person is your idol. Then you get to know them. Then you be friends. Then you turn to frenemies. Then you turn to enemies. And then you got to bring back the positive energy.
Mm-hmm.
But that is the lineage of like rap kings, you know, and inspirers. Because Jay was my big.
I like that on the panel verse as well. Yeah, I see the pattern. I see the pattern, Kanye. Keep talking your shit.
Biggest, you know, inspiration. By the time I got to New York, and we had the throwbacks, I'm gonna tell you, I'm really Big Boy had the throwbacks first. And what was it? It's called Sky High. I think he had the Astros. And then he had another one I think he might have had in the Watch for the Hook video. He might have had it, but Mitchell and S had a little stand at Lennox. And I would be going down there doing beats for Jermaine Dupri. And I pulled up to the stand and grabbed a throwback. And we started getting a lot of throwbacks. And I'd pull up to, you know, Baseline. And they were like, you know, I pull up with my throwback. And like, Jay's like, man, that's nice. You know, like that. Then I pull up the next, I got another throwback. Then 4 days, they say, what, you stay in Atlanta? And then Don C was using this thing that we hadn't heard of called the internet, selling jerseys, you know, online. So he been had a store like RSVP.
It's crazy. That was like, think about that for a second. Think about like, that probably feels like a drop in the ocean, right?
Yeah.
How innocent that time was back then.
Yeah.
Who you were back then versus who you are now. And the journey you've been on to get to this place, that's a life. What happens to all the work? What happens to all the music? What happens to the songs that we still love? What happens to those?
Y'all can listen to them.
Sure. But what happens to those from your perspective?
And
thank you for that. And we will. But what happens to those?
I'm going back. Y'all about to get the George Lucas versions of all those when he added all them robots. It's gonna be like, you're such a lovely God. I love it. It's like when George Lucas took the old songs.
Right.
I mean the old clips.
There's a church in the wild.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes. Yeah.
Literally. Reversion.
Literally, yes. You're about to get the new version. You got to get those old versions. We are removing Jesus' wife from I went to the Vatican and there was a Raphael painting, and the person said this blacked out part is where Raphael painted Jesus' wife. And the Pope was so mad that he sent people to kill him, and Raphael died of a cold before they could kill him. And that was what I was saying about.
Hey, Shawnee, that's some funny shit what you just did there in the chat. I see what you did. I see what you did. That's in response to what S said, right? About the chat like a chessboard. Yo, that's some funny shit. That is some funny shit. I swear to God. we got the most jokes over here, man. You lot are funny as fuck.
Saying about when they wanted to tear the domes down, I was like, I was gonna tear it down before y'all. Like,
But there's no win in that.
but I was gonna tear them down because I was just experimenting anyway. They think you know what I'm saying? They did something. They think, like, oh man, we made you tear down. I was experimenting with them domes anyway.
Yeah.
We're just trying to we were just getting proportions. We were seeing what it felt like. We took the domes up and we would eat there. And we started having, you know, things like you want some 3,000 years ago? Larry, you'd say that was 3,000 years ago. We stepped into
Even Squirrel got on it. That's funny, Horn.
by the fire.
How proprietary can you be in an environment where you serve the Lord? And I want to bring up a specific example. This idea of
That is such a good
You're a
question.
tar.
this idea of
Thank you, you're a tar.
trademarking Sunday service, which ultimately is a term. You have created an environment which is communal and belongs to everyone. It isn't just a Kanye West show, but there's the idea of like ownership over that term. How does proprietary behavior exist in a time of ultimate servitude?
It isn't. Everything is for God. And we can receive donations. That's the only way that it can work.
So the money you make from the merch is in donation to the cause.
I mean, I would say so. I've, you know, spent if tithing is 10%, Sunday service is definitely cost me 20% at this time. But let me just
Sure.
let me make sure. But it's an iteration where we haven't completely solved it. So we're praying on it. We're praying for the answer in God's time for me to be able to work only for the church. That, you want to say my 20-year vision? That's my 20-year vision. Everything that I do is for the church. Even designing a shoe for the church. Even all the shoe names, our shoe names be like John 3:16 instead of 350s. Now, everything is for...
Yeah. He's cold. He's cold. Did you peep that? That was cold. Okay. He's putting Bible, how would you call it? Bible verses in the shoe names. That's cold. I like that.
Now, everything is for the church. That's a vision that I have, to be able to be an innovator and
Christian innovator.
Christian innovator. Think about this. You know, it's a lot of organizations have capitalized on my creativity and innovation.
So if everything is for the church, and that includes the relationship with your fans, let me ask you this. What is the relationship between a Kanye West fan and somebody who ultimately is following the same path as you? And is there a desire ultimately to convert people through this process?
It's not a desire. It's my only mission and calling. It's to spread.
That was a good that was a good question. What you answered him. That was a good question. What you asked him. Because you will have two different types of Kanye fans, I suppose. Even three. The third one being myself. You know, I'm not a fanatic, and I'm not a, you know, church boy. You know, so there's two types really. There's the church boys that like Kanye, and then you get the music heads. And then I suppose you get both that like him, you know, the church head and the music head in one, I suppose. But yeah, do they like him for the same reasons? I suppose there must be different reasons. But at the same time, they're still idolizing him. He's a smart guy. He cornered many markets. So he's got many disciples in many places, if you know what I mean.
It's to spread the gospel.
Spread the gospel. There you go. Look at him. Look at the look. Look at him. Look at him.
When I make a song, it's to spread the gospel. When we make a device, this portable stem player that we designed with Teenage Engineering for this album and albums moving forward is to spread the gospel. There's the ranch, any ranch that we use, the ideas behind it to spread the gospel, to show everything that I do and to be more respectful to my body as a temple. You know, even like, you know, I was thinking, oh, you know, just using my mind and running this company was good enough. No, I need to, you know, watch my diet and
How have
watch
you
what
done
I'm
that?
eating.
What changes have you made?
I didn't order that frozen margarita today at lunch.
Do you drink it all?
You know what? I had stopped drinking completely when I first converted, and now I'll have a drink. It's just what I've been told is to not have drunkenness, because I was thinking, man, is just the taste of alcohol a sin? To taste the alcohol on your lips.
Because that's what I'm trying to work out. Like when you've come from, okay, so check it out. So if becoming a born again Christian is an ultimate reflection upon life before as being sin.
You know what? That guy saved him. He was about to answer something that he probably shouldn't even answer. To stay away from that one, right? Because if you leave it alone, if you're not to have a drink again, I mean, you're still drinking, which is, you know, fair play if you want to have a drink, but I think that's where most Christians might frown upon him. You know, so I think that guy might have saved him from doing something crazy or saying something wild. Who knows? He still might say it.
Right?
Not everything in life was sin.
But when you first become born again, that's what you have to address. You have to take a look at the whole picture and almost untangle it from that, work backwards from that, right? Like what is a sin and what is not. That's an intense experience. Surely.
Yes. And then you figure out that you still sin. I started giving myself 2 curses a day. Like it was a video game. Like,
wow.
This is, now people say, you know, God doesn't have a scorecard. I gave myself a Christian scorecard.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, today, I was like, I hit an 80. Yeah, I was a 90. I hit a 90. And at certain times I get on the phone with somebody, I'm like, man, they about to lower my Christian scorecard.
Like an Uber rating. Because you're trying to be the best Christian you can be from day one.
You always want to be,
but I mean, like, you know what
I remember Fred.
I'm trying to work this terminology out myself, but you've always been a Christian, but you've made a complete commitment. So it's all or nothing from day one. And then you have to work in what is appropriate from that point forward.
But it's never all or nothing, because you're a human being.
Right.
You're not.
That's, I guess I'm getting at. Are you being kind to yourself through this process? Are you allowing fallibility in this process?
Yeah, but then I'll be repenting, because I'll, you know, go and like look at something I'm not supposed to be looking at on the internet.
Right. And how do you process that now? Guilt?
And
shame?
then this is how it is. I'm not saying, oh, no shame. Now that's something that Christ has removed, is the shame. What happened is, it doesn't work like karma. God is so merciful that it's not directly connected. So this is a thought in my mind that's incorrect and quite arrogant.
There you go.
To think that God would immediately punish me for me knowingly falling short.
That's the ego talking again.
Yes, the ego talking. But I just give you an example of it. You know, say if I slip up and look at something pornographic online, and then the next day I get into a big argument with my wife, or some of the designs don't come back right at the office, or a song, we lose a file or something, someone will show up to the studio. You know, this is incorrect, but this ego and arrogance has me thinking, oh, it's because I did that thing.
Right.
And then I instantly,
correlation.
Yeah, I try to correlate it, but that's not God. God doesn't work like that. And we don't know how God works. But I'll go and be repentant. I'm sorry for loading up that interracial. I thought it was the most like me and my wife.
You've got fences here, but how far do you walk? How far do you let yourself go into this?
I'll just Do like a 30, 40-minute walk.
God, you could go for days, bro. Don't you ever get tempted to do that? Don't you ever get tempted to just like, if you want to go back, like, just see what it would be like to just walk off into the distance? You own it all.
Yes. It's just 4 hours and I usually got other stuff on my schedule.
But isn't that what you're
Like
ultimately looking
most liberals.
You put me in this category.
That is a different type of, location. Look at the location. He's out in Adnod right now. Boy's in Adnod. Where is that?
Now I'm all right with it.
No, but I'm a liberal also. So that means like we're running around trying to do what we can to help the world. And
But
we've got
isn't this ultimately a process if you're trying to slow things down and find space to do that, to give yourself space to think? Have you been able to do that yet? Switch off like that?
Yeah. Well, the most space that I had to think is when I went to the hospital.
Yeah, in 2016.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm not sure if the wind picked it up, but I said to you, do you ever just take the time to walk your land and just think? And surely to some degree, you bought this place and you've redesigned your approach to living in order to find space to think. And you said one of the only places, the place you felt you really got to think was in hospital in 2016. And I wonder,
that's where I had the most space to think.
What came from that experience, in terms of the processing?
One of the things that was written, we have the booklets that I would write. One of the things that I wrote down was build a church in Calabasas. So we were at Sunday service and we were doing a set adrift from Memory Bliss of You. No, I Would Die Without You. Die without you. And my wife showed me where I wrote sample PM Dawn, Die Without You. So one of the things that happened when I went to the hospital, as I started reading the Bible and I started copying and writing out Bible verses. And a person came to my house that wasn't a Christian and told me, come over. And then 30 minutes later, I was in handcuffs headed to the hospital. Now, this person very well may have saved my life because when you're in an episode, you can jump off the side of a balcony. Yeah. You can stab your eye out.
Your presence of mind is not.
Yeah. You can do a lot of things when you're ramped up like that. But one of the things that people do now is they try to discriminate against my mind and my thoughts because of that moment. It's like if someone, went to jail and now they're working at an office and they have an argument with somebody, who are they going to blame for the argument? The guy that went to jail. So I still have radical thoughts, visions, future ideas. And sometimes when I say them out loud, people could just denounce it and say, oh, you're crazy.
No, I don't buy that.
And I think about...
I don't buy that because as someone who has suffered with mental health issues throughout my life and, had to really develop tools in order to do them to protect my family, because I can definitely find myself in a very, very dark place. I'm grateful for those experiences and those thoughts.
Oh, absolutely. To be able to have gone that far, to go to places that people say only ayahuasca and different things can take you, but to naturally be able to think that far and connect. And the way, I feel another thing related to me wearing the hat that liberals love to do is say, oh, this relates to mental health. His story is mental health. Is he like, my wife would go places and people would be like, is Jay okay? Is he okay? Like Kobe Bryant has won 5 championships and he's got a lot of injuries. His story isn't pulling an Achilles. And every story after that, how he pulled an Achilles. But the same press that doesn't want to do the press and doesn't want to say, hey, Yeezy is the most Google brand, and this guy is a billionaire. This guy is a black Trump supporter. This guy is, they want to make the conversation always be about mental health. And I do love the fact that I can show the world that I'm sitting here and have been diagnosed, put on medication to make me fat on purpose. Because after I didn't want to take the meds, they were like,
He said it. Medication to make him fat on purpose. He just said it out of his mouth. I wondered why was he looking chubby. But then some people were saying he got switched. It's not the real Kanye. But he just said it. They was giving him medication to make him put on weight. I wondered whether that was the case, but you know, I don't know. But he actually said it, so okay, that's that. Okay, cool.
meds, they were like, okay, we got this version that don't make you fat. They're trying to kill the
Mhm.
superhero. So
And then he said, okay, we got a version that don't make you fat. They're just feeding you with that antidote, apparently, right? Giving you the serum.
I'm here to show that someone that's diagnosed can still drive and be the founder of a multi-billion-dollar organization, can still be in service to Christ, can still be a good husband and a good dad. My life does not end with this diagnosis.
No,
and I will not be stigmatized
I'm gonna say one thing.
and discriminated.
No, I'm gonna say one thing
Against.
from my perspective, and
Yeah.
I've said this in public, and I've said this in private to many of my friends. You know, when I heard the Kids See Ghosts project in particular, that project was one of the first
Yeah, that's wild screw. No one's ever put it together like that. How London put it together. Thunder, Adnod, right? Home, Moon, and all of that shit. Ain't no one doing it like London. Swear to God.
things that I'd heard that not only removed the stigma of having mental health issues, but like you said, put a cape on it, gave it a power. I think where people get confused and align it with mental instability is, if I may say, is the distribution of the information.
Oh, you mean like when I tweet 100 tweets?
Or when you go off and you do it all in 2 weeks. And everyone sees this flurry of activity, and it's like every day there's 3 things coming at you that you're distributing information-wise. Then people, I think their natural instincts, if I can speak for people, are to go, is he okay? There seems to be a lot of disruption and instability going on around him in this.
I see what he's saying. He's saying because there's a lot of Kanye activities coming from multiple platforms, they're like, hey, how can there's so much stuff he's speaking on? Is he okay? Is he okay? When you can look at it as a good thing. He's being seen on many platforms saying, I suppose, the same message, but just to different crowds. Because not every crowd is on the same platform. But you know, seeing that, you might think this guy's crazy. I've seen him everywhere talking. But that's what the guy's trying to say. You know, you can look at it like that, or you can look at it as a good thing. You're being seen on many platforms, but it depends how you look at it, I suppose. And that's how the majority of people were saying. That's why the guy said, if I can speak for everybody, right? He was trying to say that what I'm trying to explain to you. Just because you see someone coming in on multiple streams, different platforms, are you looking at them as a crazy person because you're seeing them everywhere, or is it because you are supposed to be seeing their message? It's one of those ones, in my opinion.
In this very short window of time. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but I've never been just okay. I've always been amazing. So they want me
I've never been just okay. I've always been amazing. I like that.
to operate in a just okay format. And that's not the format that I'm in. And I mean, the biggest, it's always the defense. You just said, it's
though.
okay, but it's not okay. It's amazing. HSP, highly sensitive people, meaning people who can't stand the BS. I can't sit with something on my spirit for more than a day. I can't go to sleep on it. I have to express it. When I was
you know, me and Drake had the disagreement and he refused to talk to me for 6 months. That was so painful because expressing yourself is a form
Okay.
of therapy for people with mental health. So you saw, I expressed myself. I've been waiting to express myself for a long time. And then the expression fully came out. People that are locked up a lot of times ran out of words. The expression went to, I'm just about to go shoot somebody, or I'm going crazy because I don't have a way to feed my family. Or my gang said that I'm disrespected, and if I don't go and kill this person, then they gonna look at me like I'm that strong. So it's a lot of things where people are driven to not have a conversation all the way through. Another thing I was thinking about when I used the bathroom earlier today, when I was taking just now, or when I was taking a piss because it pissed me off, is when the media says Kanye defends his support of Trump. I didn't know I was in a courtroom. I ain't got to defend nothing. It's not a defense. You know, if every time someone asks you a question, you try to say the right answer, your entire life is a test. And when did you have the most anxiety in grammar school and high school?
No question.
On test day.
No question.
So your entire life become this test. I ain't trying to say the right answer. I am just doing what I
Yeah.
feel. My mama said trying is failing.
Woof.
There is no ifs, woulds, coulds, shoulds. It just is. And we just are.
Done.
And it is so. It's simple. That's like, and this mentality should not be defeated. Ye cannot die. Ye cannot be buried. There is nothing. There, a matter of fact, no enemy. There is, I'm my only, the enemy is a concept that's out. It's like a game. Think about it, you play a video game, there's an antagonist, but it wouldn't be a game unless there was opposition. I ain't trying to play ping pong by myself.
Paul said that a guy gets uneasy when he speaks about God. Uh-oh. There's that parasite coming out of him. Uh-oh.
So they set up new goals. There's one time where it was like, okay, Drake is your rival. Now, I think more about Bernard Arnault than I think about Drake, because he might have thought he got culture by taking Virgil, but it's like, no, now you're having to pilfer from my territory. You came in and took one person that is African-American, is African, and that could be the face to draw Louis Vuitton on the side of bags and get people that look at Instagram and want to buy expensive items that are of the culture, so to say, to overspend on things. Oh no, actually you stepped into my territory.
How did that make you feel initially when that happened? At the beginning, not when you hugged each other at the, at the fashion show, which was one of the best things ever that year, that moment. But at the moment when he left and that happened, how did you feel?
You know, I felt bad. I felt like it was supposed to be me. I was the Louis Vuitton Don. People still call me the Louis Vuitton Don when I'm walking down the street. But I took a branding from something that someone else had made up and is in control of. So it's completely up to Bernard, who he wanted to don as the Louis Vuitton Don, because he bought the bag brand. He went and hired Marc Jacobs. He created the industry. He innovated the industry of luxury, brought people out to fashion shows in Paris. I mean, Bernard Arnault is one of my heroes. He's probably my dad is my top living hero. And then like way, way under that is Bernard Arnault, because he's got the taste. He's got the sensibility. He's got the eye, man. This man created the idea of even wanting Louis Vuitton. It was just an old bag brand and he bought it. And then he had the wherewithal to get this kid out of New York, Mark Jacobs, to go in and ramp it and bring it to the streets with Sprouse, me and Pharrell, and let them go wild. You know, let Kim Jones do the Supreme, and now hire Virgil. Like, I really admire what Bernard has done. He also offered me a deal 5 years ago when we had our first Yeezy show, shook my hand, said we never go back on a handshake, then dropped the deal 3 months later. And it had effect on me going to the hospital. Because my first Adidas collection that has like these pants from season 1 had lineups. The second collection never came out because I had to indemnify the apparel with Adidas. So no Adidas, no Louis Vuitton. And for me, I'm rapping, Drake stay right down the street. I'm designing, I don't have production. I haven't done it before. No one wants to help me out. I'm tweeting by season 3. Season 4, the show was 45 minutes late and they LeBron'd me, meaning like they did what they did to LeBron when he said he's going to the Heat. My wife got robbed in Paris and
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Let's speak on that. Was that even real? Was that staged? I don't know what happened there. Like I said, I'm not invested, but I remember being at work and I was working by my bench, working away. I think I might have been building a window bay or something. But I remember working by my bench and I heard it come on the radio. Uh, Kim Kardashian has been robbed, all right, for her jewelry. I was like, wow, imagine that. All right. But then afterwards, I thought about, hang on. Who's got that easy access to get to them? Nah, it could just be a staged event, right? Trying to, get a bit of cash, quick way to get cash, insurance, and all of that stuff. I don't know about that, but I did hear about it. I do remember it. So yeah, that was interesting. Kim Kardashian getting robbed in Paris.
Out of control.
yeah, next thing you know, I'm in the hospital and I have to wear that for the rest of my life, which I take as a badge of honor because it say, don't treat me like a celebrity. Always know.
You're a human being first.
Yes, 100%. And then out of anybody that they could have chose, knowing they did that, they got one of the best men for my wedding. And what I love about when I hugged Virgil is he showed me that actually we're all playing on the same court. And he went and ran that field goal. He ran that touchdown in for us all, because there was a time when we all were crazy. There's a time when it was fish sticks in South Park. Now everybody want to pull up at a fashion show, but he really stamped it by being that designer.
He validated it.
He validated, and when I said earlier, I always thought it was supposed to be me. It always was and is supposed to be me, but I'm not supposed to be working for Bernard. I'm supposed to be bringing manufacturing, back to America. They did me a favor, but I tell you what, now Bernard knows my new Drake. I tell you that. I ain't even thinking. I mean, I want all blessed Drake. I'm an ordained minister. If he want me to, when he finally get married, I'll show up like, Aubrey, when it had ups and downs.
Yo,
Good at that.
it's wild. Could look fast forwards now. Where are we now? 2024. Drake is ruined. The boy is ruined. Kanye, if you would have known this would happen to Drake, yeah, you'd be laughing much more harder. All right. He's ruined. You finished him. I know you did. Even though it wasn't you physically, it was more Kendrick, but I know you had something to do with it. I'm not stupid. Come on.
You'd be good at that.
Yes, yes.
Sorry, you'd be good at everything. My bad. But you didn't get the memo?
I'm not good at holding my breath or holding my tongue. I'm real bad at it. Real bad.
Lay
The,
low.
Yeah, but it was supposed
Hello.
to be me in that way. But God had a bigger plan. That thing is so much the Instagram, the Jesus Instagram, where the little kid is holding on to a little teddy bear. There's an Instagram where a little kid is holding on to a little teddy bear, and Jesus has this huge teddy bear behind his back. But you don't want to let go of that little teddy bear that you've known your whole life. That's what I was talking about, the tradition. You don't want to let go of what you think it's supposed to be. And God's got a bigger plan for you. That's why I didn't want to even be, presumptuous and arrogant, like borderline blasphemous to try to tell you where this would be in 20 years. I'm open. Hey, God, use me, please. Please, Jesus Christ, use me to the maximum if it is in your will. He's given me all these skills. Like, it's times I sat in my house and I'm looking at how beautiful my house is, and me and Axel Vort did it. And I'm looking at the designs, I'm looking at the music, I'm looking at what we do with show design, like the floating stage and the mountain. And I'm thinking, why couldn't I work for Bernard Arnault? And God is like, because I need you to work for me. This is what Sway was talking about. And now, I used to say how Sway, now I can say now Sway. Now Sway.
Now,
it's time.
Now, Sway. Yo, if you know, you know. How, Sway? How, Sway? Yeah. Now, Sway. Now, Sway. Oh, man. That's cold. Cold, cold, cold.
That's what this is all about.
Cold.
And Sway gonna be like, well, you could have gave me the interview.
I was just thinking the same thing. This way, I love you. All respect.
Yo, cold, cold, cold. If you know, you know. That's all I can say. If you know, you know. He's cold. He's cold. He's cold.
Dude, I'm a fan of my peers, but it's been 5 years waiting to get to talk to you again. And I think about it, and I think about you being $42 million in debt when we spoke it wasn't the first time. Do you remember the first time we ever spoke? It was way before that. I asked you what
No, it was memorable for you, but not for me.
Well, I remember it. And so I'll hold on to that memory. If that's all right with you. Okay. This is how far our conversations come. The most memorable question I asked you in the first interview we ever did was, which beat do you wish you'd made? Do you know what your answer was?
Benjamin's.
Benjamin's.
Yeah, but it wasn't because of the question. It was because I just remember, it wasn't because you asked it. It was because
it's because I asked it. Then we found ourselves you found yourself $42 million in debt. You were screaming at people to notice you and to give you and to back you, show some faith.
Yeah, I'm saying Mark Zuckerberg looking for aliens. Here go one right here.
Yeah.
Woo! Whoa! Did you hear the man? Did you hear? He said Mark Zuckerberg looking for aliens. Look, here's one right here. Here's one right here. In that case, Kanye, I'm an alien too. Fuck it. London's an alien. You heard it. Kanye's an alien. I'm an alien. Forget going to Mars. You got an alien right here in London. All right? If Kanye's an alien, London's an alien.
Yeah. And now you own this, and you're on the cover of Forbes. They neglected to mention it, but you are a billionaire.
Well, they made up the term centimillionaire. They made up a special term. It was a special term that makes sure that the last line says, and maybe one day he will be a billionaire like his little sister Kylie. You know, that line was why I did the interview in the first place.
Right.
Because it was such a...
Yeah, it's sticking it in.
A stab, you know? So, and they put that last there, and it was like, take that, red hat. Liberal high five. That's what liberals be doing. They be happy because liberals like 80% of the press. Think about it. You know, you got Tom Brady, you know, he playing sports, and you got the liberals writing the newspaper.
You know, there's a fight going on. There's a big fight going on between right now. There's not a lot of communication between side left and side right. I'm saying there's a fight going on, and that's why you found yourself in the middle of that, is because there's a lot of people on the left side who you call liberals, who you inspire and you've given us greatness. And I know that that's not why you do it. And I know it's.
I am a liberal. I'm a 200%er. Every situation, I understand. My wife does something that makes me mad. I'm like, but I understand your perspective of why you did it.
Right.
But it still makes me mad.
Right.
I 100% feel and understand why people have their position that are on the left. I 100% understand the people on the right. And the issue is communication, that people are not communicating. And for people to mute themselves is what I thought was the harshest thing to say. If you're Black, don't talk to this person. No, I'm gonna talk to everybody as long as I got air in my lungs. Like I'm gonna go pull up, say, hey Putin, how you doing? Hey Kim Jong-un, how you doing? Hey, anybody, I will talk, I will have a conversation with anyone with respect and love. I have love and respect for everyone. I don't have admiration for everyone, but I have love and respect. Yeah.
Jesus is King. Do you want to tell people what's coming in December?
I'm gonna pull it out there. I'm gonna try and manifest it. Manifest that I get a interview with Kanye West, showing my work. All right, Kanye, come over here, waiting for you.
Oh yes, Sunday service album, Jesus is Born, on Christmas. It's coming.
You will continue to build from here outward. And I know you only think 6 months in advance. Well, that's what you said before. Well, I don't buy that part, actually. I know that may be an aim of yours, but I do think that you probably have a broader idea about what this becomes. And where would you like to see this when you finally find a place where you're at peace?
I just will keep getting used by God. I don't love suffering. No one loves pain, but I'm still, through the good times and through the suffering, I praise God because I experience the blessings and I also experience the lessons. I'm just so blessed for everything I've been through to still be standing here and 15 years in, be making an album where the work, the paintings still are inspiring to me, where I want to hear them. I want to listen to this. I want to have, music is my job. That's why I'm putting out the album. Serving God and everything I can do is my job. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm on the planet, is to be in service, in fear, love, and service to God. Bari was, throughout the summer, he'd come by and play me a new album, playing the Solange album and, just playing new artists. And we'd be working on clothes and he's like, okay, clothes is good. And okay, cool, this is a multi-billion-dollar company, that's cool, but yay, music is your job. It's your job. This is what, I believe if I stop doing music, not because it promotes the brand, I believe because God has given me a gift that I prayed for and so many people love, that if I stop doing it, he might start to take other things away. Because who am I to say, oh, I got these shoes now, or oh, we're building these hotels now, or oh, I got a family now, so I'm not gonna do music. I'm not gonna give people these new ideas that I have. I had to really, and it's fun, it's a good job. It's a fun thing to do, and I quite enjoy.
Is it as fun doing it now as it was doing it in Hawaii, or doing it in Paris, or doing it at the Mercer, or doing it with Jay, or doing it for Jay?
That's a good question. Well, I'll tell you one thing. I quite enjoy the sound of my own voice. And apparently by the streams, billions of other people do also.
But that's not what I asked. Is it as fun?
No, I just wanted to do that sound bite. I had it in my head.
Cold, cold, cold. Soundbite all day long, all day long. You got, yeah, I like it. I like Kanye. I like it.
But go ahead now.
Is it as fun? Or is it just different? The job.
You know,
When you were wearing the backpacks, when you were sitting there making that, all the footage of you in the studio, just literally vomiting up these beats, like just spontaneously creating things like no one else can on this keyboard and making these bangers and coming up with this stuff. Is it as fun?
I mean, we sitting here in front of 10 Sherps. Do this look fun to you? We could drive on the lake. We got a lake. Do this look
Is
fun?
making music as fun? Is your job as fun?
What I'm saying, this is a part of my job. This is what I do in the midst of my job. Like when I hand the new device, we need still working on the name, but the portable stem player to my daughter, and she's playing it, and then she turns down the vocal and turns up the vocal, and her eyes light up. Her eyes light up the way Jay's eyes used to light up when I would come and play him a beat.
And that meant everything to you at the time. That was everything you were striving for at that moment in time.
Like
that validation. Now the validation comes from your family.
Well, I don't know if it's about a validation it's not about validation, it's about the light. Seeing Jay's face light up when I would play him those beats, and now seeing North's face light up when she's playing with the device that we just created.
What is this device you keep talking about?
We'll go back to the studio, we'll play it.
All right, cool.
But ticks, in general, are dark. Music has more of ability to be light. Similar to Tesla, I'm about lighting the world up, about being a light, being a beacon, and having other people experience joy through what we create, whether they're holding the product that we create or experience the Sunday service, or when they used to come to the tours and see the imagination, someone up there with a mask on. It's not about entertainment it's not about entertainment, it's about imagination. Witness the imagination and feel good. Know that things are possible. Know that things that you feel are possible. That's my job. That's what I'm here to do. To do things you're like, oh, I didn't know. That's why we got to go and take the Sherp out on the lake so you can see that this thing literally drives on the lake and that it is possible for these to do that. And I think I think this is a good thing, this anchor about, comparing these moments or also the way people hear. The reason why I love doing listening sessions is to be close to all these people hearing the way they felt when they first heard it.
See the light.
Yeah, we see the light. Whereas when an album is like released mass wide, you can kind of hear reviews coming back, or you hear people driving down the street, and that feels good. Yeah. There's a communal element to music that streaming helps, and it takes away from it a little bit. It's like video killed the radio star, streaming killed the video star.
HSP, hypersensitive people.
Yeah.
I've never heard that term before. Do you think that is the thing that you're most misunderstood about in the way that you're being perceived and treated? Is that people ignored or perhaps didn't understand your sensitivity levels?
Yeah, I also feel it's a camouflage. If the system that supported Kanye West had any idea that I would make it to that telethon, or make it to that Taylor Swift stage, or make it to be the founder of this $3 billion company, they would have injected it with drugs way earlier.
Woo! Did you hear what he just said? If they knew, they would have injected it with drugs earlier. That's very telling. What is he trying to tell us? He said he had to move in camouflage mode to get where he's at. That's what he's saying. Don't know, he might be playing the script still, who knows, but that's crazy.
They would have tried to do anything to stop it earlier, but it's too late. So it's been a camouflage, and even right now as I speak, there's a
a wash of arrogance that because I've been diagnosed with mental health, because I am Black, because I've been positioned in this entertainment field, because I've had a red hat, all these different things, it makes, you know, when I talk, it's a dog whistle.
Oh,
Because
I like
the
that.
people who need to hear it.
Yeah.
And
I'm taking that shit. Yeah. When I talk, it's like a dog whistle. Fact.
the people who don't need to hear it,
Hmm.
that should be afraid of it, are too much bigots. They're too much bigots to, I'm gonna say too much bigots because the use of incorrect English is also it's also a camouflage. Yeah. They're too much bigots to believe that it can happen. Bernard Arnault doesn't believe that the kid that had a backpack on will be standing across the stadium from Jay-Z, the greatest rapper ever. Think about that. A little kid in Baseline Studio with a backpack on someday to be across the stadium from one of his heroes. Bernard Arnault is one of my heroes.
Your dad is your number one hero.
Yeah, and then Bernard's way
I don't think I've
under that.
I don't think I've ever heard you talk about your dad before. Certainly, no, we've never spoken about your dad before.
Oh man, that's my dad he has a water purification center. He don't know no raps. He stayed in homeless shelters less than 10 years ago just to help people. He's a Christian marriage counselor, master's degree. Met my mom in college. It's like, and now at age 42, so many artists at age 40, like Tesla stopped having sex at age 40. Da Vinci said, I'm not gonna paint rich women anymore. I'm gonna build bridges at this age. This is the age when you start to see. You guys haven't even seen when they do books on what we're gonna make. You're gonna look at the sound and say, oh, it's a yay sound. It's all these different things. We haven't really experienced what the paintings are yet. You talk about being in like Allen Iverson said, who need practice? We don't have choir practice, we have choir growth. We have grown the amount of chords that I've listened to in the past year alone, like in off time. Even when I was doing 5 albums in a row, I was like, oh, this is just like LeBron, just back on the treadmill, I'm gonna just do these 5 albums. Y'all about to, just that 5 albums was a part of my rehabilitation from coming from the hospital. Think about like when I was at Nike. When I was at Nike, there wasn't no Virgil, there wasn't no Drake, there wasn't no Travis. It was just like Ye, graduation. And then when I left, you know how the brand Antisocial Social Club? They made the Anti-Kanye Club at Nike. It's literally other versions to be anti-Kanye.
Someone's going to watch this and they're going to start that shit. There's going to be an official anti-Kanye club. Trust me.
Okay, and they made the Pro Jesus Club. Then they're going to make a Pro Jesus Club?
They're going to make a Pro Jesus club.
All right, cool.
Oh,
To the hotels and everything you're going to build, man.
Well, and building it for us, other people's families, not just, no. Building it for us, for everyone, just innovating, thinking, why does that plug have to go into that wall like that? Why does this room this far away? Why is this couch designed like this?
Is this your life's work now? From this point forward, it is your life's work.
Creatively, it's what I'm interested in expressing, but it will only be expressed if it's in God's will. Because if God wants me to build these factories, they shall be built. And if God says, that's not what I want you to do, I want you to go, I want you to sit in jail. I want you to go to sit in Africa for this amount of time, for this reason. I don't know what God has planned for me.
Surrendering of control in your whole life has been about control.
Exactly. Think about that. It could go from being this to whatever God has planned, that I am ready to be in service to God and whatever He has planned for me.
Thanks for inviting us here. This place is super special. You know,
Yeah, well, so let's walk back. I'll show you the machine, play you some music. And then I'll go ahead and like finish the album up.
Yeah.
That part too.
Thank you, man. This has been really special.
Yes. That's fire. This is like,
Yeah, this is crazy.
This is one for the ages.
This is crazy. So I guess, in anticipation of the album coming, we should focus a little bit on some of the folks who have contributed to it, because there are other people who are involved. We just spoke about a couple of producers who have been involved, and clips are on the record, and people know about that. And getting those two back together, creatively, we know that they have a relationship, but getting them on record, it could only be in this project, right?
Yes, that's everybody's. What they say. Oh, this is the only one.
That's the only one.
No Malice would come and rap on.
Correct.
Yes.
Correct. So can you just talk us through the process of putting that to him and getting that to a place where clips reunite for this project?
It was just beautiful. I mean, I had they were out here or out working on an album just 5 months ago. I remember saying, I'm not even gonna rap. And then
you were serious about that. You weren't
Yes.
interested in rapping.
I didn't know how to rap for God. I didn't, So I remember No Malice being like, I'm gonna write you a rap for this. You gonna rap on this? He said, I'm gonna write you a rap. He didn't say you gonna rap on as a paraphrase. He said, I'm gonna write a rap for it.
And he must have been he must have been euphoric at the idea of you being able to identify with what he had established for himself.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
He just sent a verse over right now. The second verse for this song I'm playing you with Victory on it. Song called Glory. He just sent over a second verse idea. So as you see, we're finishing verses tonight and still writing new stuff. Absolutely. Like, this is such a win for the
Yeah, much love, Noel. Much love. Big up, bro. It's only about 5 minutes or so left, but much love, brother. Much respect.
kingdom. For Kanye to come back home from going from Jesus Walks to I Love It, and to say, I give it up to you, God. I tried it my way. It's not working out. It's not working out. I got, everything is in shambles. I'm ending up in debt. At least I'm seeing, we're making this money, but I'm still ending up in debt. My public standing is all in shambles. I'm not in good shape. I'm having ups and downs with my health. People calling me crazy. People not wanting to sit and meet with me. All this is happening. I had to just give it all up to God and not use any of, the tactics. Even like when I say, oh, Bernard's my new Drake and all this kind of hotlines or whatever. It's like, no, we got to go in and say that it's all in God's hands. It's just praying. When you pray, things don't always happen exactly when you want them to happen. It's in God's time. It's not in your time. And God may have you suffer to use you, to show you something, to show someone else something. It's God, why do I have to suffer? Why do I have to go through this? But it's a part of a bigger plan. So
and where does that leave Push?
Push is coming along, but I can't speak on his journey and his walk. But he knows God is real. There's things where people know God is real, but the tangible and the physical things are so in front of us.
And Cuddy on Reborn, which is an important moment of Kids See Ghosts, right? That's a song that ultimately set you on the path. Even though that record came out, you were still on your way to Chicago to denounce Jesus. The interesting timeline for that.
Yeah, it's interesting that it's Reborn because Cuddy's not Christian and I wasn't.
And
Christian
you weren't.
at that time.
And yet that song was almost a declaration of 8 months.
I don't know if it's 7. I think I was on the path since I was born. God always had me on this path. And, after surrounding myself with Sunday service, with all of these God-fearing, God-loving people singing, I really had a luxury sound wave treatment to show me how God is so good. And I was led with light. And it's funny because God led me with light to him, but then I'll turn around and be screaming at other people that are not in the same place in their journey, you know, pointing fingers and being judgmental.
And you're over that now, to a degree.
I'm still human. I still hurt. I still get mad, but it's interesting.
But no drugs in the studio, no alcohol in the studio. Can you be around that stuff?
All alcohol, but yeah, no. But some people, you know, have a medical condition where they have to smoke weed.
Mm-hmm. And you're okay with that?
Well, yeah, you're saying what do I condone on a property inside my studio specifically?
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm early on into the walk, and I believe that there's certain things that haven't been defined completely.
Mm.
But I mean, we never had people doing hard drugs in our studios anyway. I've never seen someone do cocaine in a studio of mine.
Mm.
I never seen anyone smoke crack. I never seen anyone do heroin. But pills are a friend of heroin. It's oxycontin, it's an opioid.
Mm-hmm.
So I remember, you know, having surgery and then having the painkiller, and then after the pain was gone, I'd still be popping the pills and maybe taking more than one. And the feeling, that thing that set off, it's a similar feeling to when you climax. So that shows you why sex is just as much a powerful drug as an opioid or as heroin. So when you saw me at the MTV Awards the year after my mama had passed, that was like if I was a heroin addict with the needle, a heroin addict with the needle coming out of my arm. Like, I don't really care about living anymore. And I just thank God for saving me physically, mentally, spiritually. Yeah.
My last question is, at this point in your life, at 42, and being a man of faith, serving God, spreading the gospel, have you been able to find peace with the challenges of your life that you didn't bring upon yourself? The loss of your mum, the exposure to pornography at a young age, the things that set you on your path that you've had to process.
Yes, I'm at peace. I give it all up to God. It's sometimes we'll sit around and start to get mad about something, or I'm, you know, about to scream about something and I'm rude. You know, I have a rude spirit, and I had a rude spirit that I need to work on. Grace. A lot of people, there's things that they need to work on. Man, I am like just prepped to be a Christian. You know, you get stereotype, you know, somebody that's tall and say, yo, do you play ball? It's like you just take everything about my personality, but like, oh, you would make a perfect Christian.
But don't you want to hold on to some of that fight? Isn't that fight needed? Don't you need some of that fight in you still? Like that?
What is the fight? Yeah. Just because you're a Christian don't mean you ain't got to fight.
I mean, the rudeness. Let me be more specific.
Well, that's what I was about to say. The thing I pray for to be more Christ-like is the grace. It's I have to pray for grace. And then as God strengthens my hand, is to have more grace. Like, we as human beings inside of the game of life there's an ability where I might be slightly upset about something later today. I pray not, but doesn't seem to go about 2 days without me getting something new to be, I'm upset about that. These are like new challenges that we're at with life. It's complete, the landscape has changed. We're out here taking, you know, meetings and doing partnerships on building factories and building our own farms. And in these new challenges, there will be things you're frustrated about. It's like if you went to different levels of the video game. Like, I'm less frustrated about the snare or hi-hat. I've been doing that so long. I call up Manny Merrick, I call up Mike Dean. We have our production staff, everything. We got that completely under control. I don't have any idea, you know, of how No, I have an idea, but I don't have experience doing the things I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And in that experience, there's going to be some cuts and some bruises, but I'm ready to go in. It's one of those like jumping in the deep end things. Like if you knew how, difficult certain things were, you might not jump in to be able to receive how rewarding they are on the other end. And we in the deep end. We stay in the deep end. I'm not shallow. I'm deep. I'm like, everything's gonna be in the deep end.
Say no more. He's not shallow. He's in the deep end. That's quite interesting. Kanye, he's full of gems. I already knew that, but that was interesting. Nice. I enjoyed that. I don't know about the 8 people watching, but quite a lot of gems in that. I'm gonna have to revisit some of the Kanye files again. See what he's been up to. Sniper in the building, trying to get a screenshot of his ring. Okay. It's a golden eye, I think. So yeah, I won't even keep you guys any longer. It's getting late over here, and I'll let you folks carry on with your day, wherever you are. But thanks for locking in, man. Appreciate it. Appreciate you guys. Squirrel, much love. You already know. No. The folks who stayed to the end, appreciate you guys. Day 1S, you're probably out there somewhere. Good stuff. So yeah, I guess till next time, eh? Look after yourself. Love over war. Lay low. London.